Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at netsn.live.
And good evening. It is finally time. It is Friday night. It is week 1, and we are here. The Brook Hill Guard on the road in Redwater, Texas tonight to take on the Dragons. Jeremy Hubbard here alongside Chad Grubbs. And Chad, we've been talking for, a few weeks now about there's just something special about week 1, opening night. Hope is eternal for everybody tonight. This is 0-0 for everybody. You've had the scrimmages, you've had the work, and now you're ready to get going tonight when it counts.
Old saying, the hay's in the barn.
It
is time to go to work.
If you're not ready now, you might be in a bind, right? I do want to say this while we kick off. We are troubleshooting some camera issues. We will be with you audio for sure. The camera, we're continuing to work on that, and we will be with you as quick as we can and up and running full speed. Now, we're going to go down to the field now for the national anthem.
It still stands for freedom.
Please bow your heads. Lord, thank you for bringing us together today. Bless both teams with safety, strength, and good sportsmanship. Help us to play with respect, determination, and joy. Win or lose, may we honor you in the way we play and treat one another. Keep us free from injury and help us to encourage our teammates. Amen.
Now, if you would remain standing, the Redwater Dragon Band will honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Is anybody ready for some football?
All right, we are back here now. I mentioned this a second ago. If you're just now joining us, we're having some camera issues. We're going to get them straight. Either way, we're going to be here with you on the audio. No worries about that. Chad, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away with our captains here this evening.
All right, for Redwater, number 4, we've got Guy Wheat. Number 32, Mason Rampy. Number 2, their quarterback, Braylon Morgan. And number 10, Dylan Feaster. For the guard, we got number 3, Gio Orico. We've got number 16.
15. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Those numbers are difficult to read.
Cole Schluter. Number 1, Zachary Rowell. And it looks like number 28, Hayden Watson.
Yeah, so you see, well, you can't see that yet, but Gio Rico now going to be out. Had a little injury last week in that troop scrimmage there. Just at the end. Gio's going to be a huge part of this puzzle that's missing as we go along here. However, this team is one that's kind of been, I guess even if you'd ask the coaches, they thought depth might be something they'd be concerned about, but they've played a lot of guys in these scrimmages, and I feel like with the work they've gotten in that they're in a good spot.
Next man up, it's a tough loss for us losing Gio. He's a great kid, great athlete. He's going to be dearly missed this season, but it's time for somebody to step up.
Well, and I think the good news is, talking especially to Coach Collins this week on the defensive side especially, like now his role just changes, right, where now he's got to help these young guys and these other guys get ready to play. All right, let's talk about these scrimmages, Chad. These two teams did play each other last year. I think there's a lot of differences in these two teams going in. Last year, Redwater had this big-time passing attack early on in that game back in Bullard, and there was a lot of points scored in that game. Brook Hill has more of a focus up front. I would say their interior line play on both sides is significantly improved. So kind of from looking at last year, Chad, going to this year and what you've seen, what are you kind of expecting here tonight?
I think, number 2 for Redwater, Braylon Morgan, he's got another year under his belt. They look for big things for him. He's got a big arm. He's the leader on the field for them, for the Dragons. And then also on the defensive side, you've got Lawson Angel. Their leading tackler from last year. They're going to be looking for good things for them. And then the whole squad, the offensive line for the Brook Hill Guard, looking for them to go out and show out tonight. And then, our defensive line, if they can control the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively, I think it can bode well for us tonight.
So, one of the other things, too, you got to think about, Chad, is Brook Hill will kick off to start this ball game. Redwater will receive. They'll move from right to left across your screen. I know you're not seeing it yet, so I want to kind of give you more of a radio-type feel so you know where we're at. But when you have a 2-year contract with somebody, so to speak, Chad, and you lose the first one, now you got that revenge factor in game number 2, and so we're looking for that. Redwater will start, and back deep for them, that's going to be number 5, J.J. Vaughn. We'll call his name a lot tonight, we think. And also I believe that is number 4 back there, Guy Wheat, who we've also told to be ready to hear from.
Friday Night Lights is back, baby.
Man, it is good, and we are glad we are back, and we're glad you're joining us here. 103 views already. If you're in there, get us in the chat. We'd love to visit with you tonight. Tell us where you're watching from. I know we got a lot of people overseas, and we are off. And Gavito, that's a boomer back there. Yeah.
That's a weapon right there.
Javi has not gotten much work in the scrimmages because I think he's, kicked 1 field goal last week at Troop.
Right.
Maybe kicked off a time or 2, but a big leg there for Gavito. So now we're getting a chance to see this Brook Hill defense first, and this is a defense now under Coach Collins. He's been doing this for a long time here on the defensive side of the ball, and the challenge will be breaking in a few new pieces out there in the secondary now, as it looks like it's going to be Casper Hansen and Blake Witten at the corners. We're going to have Cody Clark. I believe that's going to be Nico Metten and
Casper Hansen
back there 4 at the safety. So on 1st and 10 here, they're going to hand off. They're going to give it right up the middle to Bailey, and Bailey off the right side. He breaks through 1 tackle, and they're going to have to chase him down. And finally, Cody Clark is going to knock him out of bounds at about let's see where they spot it, at the Brook Hill 47. And so a big play there for Cooper Bailey. We talked a lot about Vaughn and about Guy Wheat, and it's Bailey that time on the first carry.
I believe they're going to that's their staple. They're going to run the football. They're going to make you stop them.
Last week in the last night in the JV game, Redwater came out the first drive and ran the ball very well in the first drive, and they started trying to do some different things. But this is a team that likes to run the football.
Offset eye.
There are cameras in and out, guys. We will get it fixed as soon as we can. The handoff this time. And let's see who they gave that one to. Was that
fullback?
That's Miller Witt, I think. No, that's not number 8. Yeah, it was 8. Miller Witt on the carry. And it's a no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. You kind of settle in, right? That's what you got to do. And now this defense in the middle, I see that's Brantley Bruno in at the nose, Sidney Rouleau in at one of the ends, Eli Hall at one of the ends as well. Outside linebackers are Greg Lacasse-Grandin. And also, let's see who that other outside backer is. I believe that is number. Yep, it's number 8. So we got 8. That's Greg.
2nd 10 right here. Tendency from last year. I know they've got an offensive coordinator, still Derek Simmons, but I think the head coach may be calling a little bit.
Yeah. So
tendency for this is them to throw the ball right here.
Yeah. Another time on the field. We're going to keep it here because I know we're working on some things. That other outside linebacker for Brook Hill is number 6, Isaac Lundqvist, is that other outside backer for Brook Hill. So we'll get a good look at this defense as we go along here. 10:52 to play in the first. And we once again want to thank all of you who are watching tonight here on NETSN on YouTube. Of course, free as free can be. And it's something that we are proud to do. And we are working as they give us a nice little pub over the intercom here. We're still trying to get this camera fixed, but we will. We'll make it work as we go along here.
You see the timeouts, early in the season, when you don't really want to take it. Coach hates to take one right there, but you got to calm your kids down.
So back to action, 2nd and 10, Redwater in the shotgun. Trip receivers to the near side, take the snap, rolls out to the near side, looking to throw it. Has a man down the field on the sideline. He's out of bounds when he caught it. He had a man wide open. William Strutoff was there, the junior, and just led him a little too far. And also, one of the things to mention here, right, we talk about fields and how they're put together. That sideline is very thin.
Yeah.
And that's not, most of the time you get a sideline that has a big, thick, maybe a white marker there, and not there. So 3rd and 10 now
and
for the Dragons.
Natural turf, so it's
okay. Natural grass.
I'm sorry.
I know what you mean.
It rained up here a lot last night and today. It could get very, very muddy very quickly.
Once again, 3rd and 10 here for the Dragons. Split backs in the backfield. Morgan, he's going to take it and try to run, and he's going to break contain there. Yeah, Morgan can run a bit. It should be a blocking back, and they got it.
Back.
So he's going to the end zone, but it's going to come back. It will not be a touchdown there. I know you guys can't see it, but Morgan did run all the way into the end zone, but that's going to come back on a block in the back. And really, I'm not even sure it was needed, Chad.
No, he was. There's no way the defender was getting to him, and the receiver, again, this is your first game jitters. Receivers think they've got to block somebody all the time, but you don't have to.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, want to make sure while we have the penalty here, the block in the back against Redwater, if you're just joining us, we are having some camera issues. We're going to get those fixed as soon as we can. So just bear with us. We're going to go, I guess, radio style for you here. We'll give you play-by-play as we're moving along. Chad, what you got?
So they're going –
It'll be a first down.
First down.
Yeah, first down at the
inside
30,
the 30.
The 24-yard line. So 10:34. You can see the time and the first down, all that good stuff on the scoreboard. But 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. And it'll be Morgan under center again. They got that tight end wing set here to the near
Tendency
side.
to run right here.
And they're going to give it to him. That's our man
cutting it back.
Cooper Bailey again. And Bailey with about a 5-yard gain, maybe 6.
Tackled by Eli Hall.
And so it's funny because we're talking to people from Redwater here before the game starts, and they're like, okay, here's the guys you want to watch for. You want to watch for Wheat. You want to watch for Vaughn and these guys. And it's been Cooper Bailey here on this first drive. And really the quarterback, right? I mean,
yeah.
Morgan and Bailey have done a good job running the football. And it'll be 2nd and 5 here. Just under 10 minutes to play as Morgan under center once again. Hands off to Bailey, and a big stop there. That's Sidney Rillo coming off that defensive end spot. And Rillo, of course, the 4-star offensive tackle, getting a lot of playing time here on defense on this first drive.
Well, here's this defense right here. Big play, 3rd down. This is what Coach Collins likes to hang his hat on. We get down here inside what they call the red zone, and, it's time for the defense to bow it up.
And you don't know what is the kicking situation like for these guys, right?
You try to look during pregame, see what it is. You don't know till you get out there in game time situation.
So here we go. 3rd and 4, split backs for the Dragons. Morgan in the shotgun. Take snap, hands. Oh, he's going to fake the handoff, throws out here on the flats, and I think he's going to be short.
Great stop.
That's a great tackle there. That's number 2, Cody Clark, and number 8, Greg Lacasse-Grandin in on the stop. And it's going to be a no gain on the play. It's going to be 4th and a long 3 here. It says 3 on the scoreboard. I think it may be closer to 4, Chad.
Morgan had, if he does not pull that right there, Sidney hits him for about a 3-4 yard loss. He hit him as soon as the quarterback pulled it out and got it out real quick. But secondary did exactly what they're supposed to do.
Once again, while we have a chance here, just let you know we are having some camera issues. We're working on that as we can. Jaron Peoples working on that as hard as he can to get that up and running for you. We're going to go radio style here, 4th and 4 at their own 20 or 19-yard line. Morgan rolls out the pass far side. Here comes Lacasse-Grandin. As the pass, it is complete. It is caught by Guy Wheat on a little drag right over the middle, Chad. And
that's a tough one. I mean, you're as a DB, you're just trying to stay on that upfield shoulder, and him running away from you, quarterback throwing it across his body, it's a tough route to cover.
So it'll be 1st and goal now, and it looks like it's I don't know, the 1 yard line maybe here. It's hard to see. We are a little lower than normal in the press box tonight. But it is, yeah, you see the camera there a little bit now. It's 1st and goal from the 1. It says the 3. I don't know if that's right or not, Chad, but we'll see. Now they changed it to 2, and it's going to be a keeper, and Morgan off the left side. He's into the end zone. 7:54 to play here in the first quarter, and it's Braylon Morgan with a 2-yard touchdown.
Hey, Redwater did exactly what they wanted to right there. They dominated. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They established their run and threw it when they needed to.
So Braylon Morgan with a 2-yard TD run. That's actually his second touchdown run of the drive. The first one was called back on a block in the back penalty. Now the point after attempt, the snap is going to roll. It's going to be a bad snap. There's a flag on the play, and he's going to be brought down as
going to try to run this thing back.
Sorry, Javi. Yona has it, and Yona, all of a sudden, he's running down the field. Let's see what he's got. He's going to get caught there, but
great effort.
That's a long run for Yona. Now, the kicker there for the Dragons was number 22, Kevin Cerna, and the snap was just low. The flag, there's multiple flags down near the line of scrimmage. There's hats on the field. We got all kind of stuff going on, so we'll see what we have.
Probably got some block in the backs. Probably may have offsides. They'll figure this out.
You can see there in the chat, we are working on this camera issue. We do apologize. Look, sometimes when you get on the road, there's gremlins in the lines, and we're going to make that work. So we'll see what the penalty is. They're
Looks
still
like
talking about
it. They're going to retry, so it's probably offsides, I would guess.
That's
on
what
Brook Hill.
I would think too. Probably an offsides penalty there. And then, of course, the block in the back is what they're probably going to call here against Brook Hill. Won't matter.
Right.
So we'll see what they talk about here. Let's see what the white hat gives us. Let's see. We're still waiting. They're all trying. Maybe right now they're trying to find out whose hat is whose because they're all on the ground. I think the white hat was the only one with his hat still on. And I wouldn't throw it
clean.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw it in the mud either. I'm going to be honest. And I'll be honest. The field doesn't look like it's in terrible shape. I think it is probably really soft, but at least it's held up. It appears.
Well, our coaches before the game, they walked the entire field, and you'd see them stop and just pat their feet, trying to level it out some. So it is soft, but I don't know what the traction looks like.
Oh, both fouls against the defense. Okay, so it is right. Offsides against the defense. That'll let them replay the down. They're going to move in. I'm going to assume they probably go for 2 here. I mean, now you're going to go down shorter. And with the snap issue you just had, if you would think they line up and they try to run it in for 2 here. And then the second penalty was blocking the back. That won't matter on the return because the return is null and void at this point. So 7:50. Yeah, they're going to bring the offense out. So they're going to go for 2 here. 7:54 to play in the first.
Look for them to have those running backs tight again like they did about this same spot. It looks like they're going to go though, but everybody just likes to get behind that quarterback and push him in.
Well, and they gave it to the fullback earlier. They've given it to both of these guys. We'll see what they do here. As Morgan under center, takes snap, hands off to Bailey, and a big hole there. I tell you, this Redwater offensive line, that's a good first drive for them.
Great drive for them.
And the 2-point conversion is good for Cooper Bailey. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
Okay, we are back here in Redwater, Texas. The Brook Hill Guard taking on the Redwater Dragons. The Redwater Dragons go down. First drive, Chad, and just through they had completed a couple of passes, but really it was the ground game that got them going on that drive.
Like I said earlier, they established I believe what they want to do, and it's what we say, pound the rock, until we can stop it defensively. I believe they're going to keep doing that.
eerily similar last year. Redwater moved the ball really well early on in that first quarter, and we'll see how that goes. Once again, if you're just tuning in, some camera issues. I see the people in the chat. We appreciate it. I promise you we're going to get you straight. But we're going to make sure you know what's going on here while we can. See a lot of former players in the chat as the kickoff is a high kick. And let's see, that's going to be Blake Witten with the fair catch at about the 35-yard line. And so that's where Brook Hill will start, 1st and 10. And the first chance to look at this offense that you talk about offensive line play for Redwater, Chad. This offensive line for Brook Hill has played really well in the first 2 scrimmages.
Let's see if they can match what Redwater just did. Let's run it. And we're going to establish it right now. We'll see what Coach Copeland's got in mind.
That offensive line, of course, features Luke Scott, Brantley Bruno, Ezra Guba, Laurent Desoyo, Larry Desoyo, and Sidney Rillo. I'm going to get that right before it's all over. Coach Sluter in at tight end. Zach Ryle, the sophomore quarterback, in there. And the tailback is P.A. Paul-Antoine Lapointe. Yates is in at receiver. Witten in at receiver. And that's Lundqvist, I believe, number 4 in there at center. And the first pitch goes to P.A. Lapointe off the left side, and he's going to have about 8 yards on the carry.
Great job following his block right there.
Excuse me, that's Casper Hansen, number 4, the other receiver, Chad. So a little pace here. I like it, too, yeah. It's second and about a yard here, and they're going to get back up there pretty quick with Lapointe to the left of Ryle back in that shotgun formation. Ryle quickly to Yates, and he can't hold on to it. Incomplete, 3rd and a yard.
He turned upfield before he caught it. He just didn't keep his eyes on it right there, just anxious. He'll be fine.
And Yates is one who's had a couple of good scrimmages, right? And didn't play a lot last week. They were trying to work some different guys and do some different things. But the first scrimmage against Rusk, he was really good.
Well, it's something right there. 2nd and 1. We believe that we can run the football for a yard. So we're going to get it out here and we'll throw the ball, see if we can get a little more than, on a throw and catch.
Split backs in the backfield. That's Hansen and Lapointe, and they are going to fake the handoff, pitch it to Hansen. Hansen off the left side is going to be dropped for a loss of about a yard. It's going to be 4th and 2 here, and decision time. I think with that line up front, you think you could go for it.
Maybe think running north and south. I know it looks like Redwater's got some speed, and that can match us out on the outside. So maybe we'll adjust right here. Looks like we're going to go for it, and let's see what Coach Copeland puts out there.
They come out with 2 receivers to the near side, tight end and a receiver to the far side. Lapointe to the left of Ryle, and they froze him. They got the offsides penalty, and I'm not sure why they didn't throw the flag earlier. Now they're going to let it go. Go to Yates on the freeze play. Deep down to Yates, and he caught it.
Great catch. That was the most busted play I've seen.
And here's the funny thing. Coach Ryle's mad because he didn't throw the flag. The Redwater coaches are mad because they didn't throw the flag because now they get a big gain out of it.
Right.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the guard after the freeze play.
So I don't see what the official says. Offsides.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if the FAR official does his job right, it's just a 5-yard gain.
Right.
Because he should have thrown the flag much earlier, and he just didn't throw it.
Because there was contact was initiated right there.
Absolutely.
And so it should just be 5 yards.
So here we go now. It'll be 1st and 10 for the guard. Ball spotted at the 20. Ryle now with Lapointe to his left. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Ryle, another low snap. P.A. is going to get out of the way. Ryle's just going to fall on it. P.A. looked like he wanted to pick it up and run with it, and Ryle said, get out of the way. I'm just going to fall on it here and make sure we don't have anything worse happen.
Well, it's something, we talk about the field conditions. That's a big key between the center and the quarterback. Is getting the snap back there to him, especially when you're in the gun. That thing doesn't slide across the ground right, and it's going to roll around back there, and that's something you don't want to see.
So 2nd and about 22 now is what they're calling it from the 32-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side and 1 to the near. Ryle has Lapointe to his right, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, looking to pass, little fox play going deep, and he's got a man,
and he
overthrew Witten. They got him on that little fake screen.
It was the play call. They thought we were fishing to just throw the bubble out there, and what we call
Fox. Yeah, I mean, say it. Nobody's – yeah, that Fox play, right? I mean, and it works so many times, and, man, just barely misses him. And I think that was actually Wisner that was out there. I said Witten. Wisner's wearing 19. Witten's wearing 18, so a little – listen, the white jersey with the orange numbers, I like the way it looks unless you're in the press box trying to call numbers.
Right. going with the Navy pants tonight.
Yeah, that's for
keep 'em
sanity
pretty-
tomorrow. Third and
wash.
22. Ryle on the option is
Keeps
going to
it.
keep it and gain maybe a yard. And a nice stop there for Redwater. That's number 50, Lawson Angel. You mentioned him in the pregame. Their leading returning tackler makes a nice play there. And it's going to be third and, I don't know, we'll say 21 here, maybe 20.
I don't know. They may, I don't know what Zach can do. They may quick kick it down here, just trying to pin them inside the 10. I don't know.
Got to be honest, you probably try to freeze them one time.
We see if they do it again,
yeah,
right?
It's early, it's week 1, right?
Right.
And that's probably your best chance to get it done. So here we go now, 4th down and 22 still officially. Ryle with LaPointe to his left, takes a snap, looking to go deep. Yates making a move, and just a miscommunication there, and the ball's intercepted.
Hey, it's as good as a punt.
Actually, the coaches are probably saying don't catch that ball because J.J. Vaughn intercepts it, but he intercepts it down at the 3-yard line. So maybe a blessing in disguise. It's no interception's a good interception. Oh, we got a flag. Let's see what we got here. So an interception down the field is route. It looks like Yates and Ryle were not on the same page as what the route was.
Yeah.
Yates was kind of doing like maybe an out and up, and Ryle expected him to go. Let's see. The penalty's going to be against the defense.
Before the play, Ryle stepped out and tried to say something to Yates.
Oh no, it's a hold on the offense.
Okay.
They were moving people down the field because that's where the offense is going to be. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at the 3.
Well, now it's time for the defense to say, you got one series in under you. It didn't go how you wanted to. I guarantee you Coach Collins has been over there coaching those guys up, and should see a little bit of adjustment, quick adjustment, nothing like a halftime adjustment, but just a quick adjustment with the guys that you catch that aren't on the field on the offense, right?
And that, honestly, this is one of the first years where there's a bunch of guys that maybe don't play offense, right? It's more so than usual. So we're at 5:16 to play here in the first quarter. We apologize once again for the camera. I promise you, Jaron Peoples is working as hard as he can on that as we speak. We'll get you the best update we can. 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line for the Dragons. They are back deep underneath the shadows of their own goalpost. And we'll see what Morgan can do under center. The tailback's way back there. They're going to give it to him. That's going to be our man Bailey again, and he's going to have another big gain. And right now it's just up the middle.
Yeah, they're getting body on body and just washing us out.
And Coach Collins is
he's not happy.
Listen, that's my guy, right? But he is not having it right now, as it's going to be 2nd and a long 2 here.
We talk about it all the time. This defense is technique. You've got to do everything right, and if one person doesn't, it can hurt you.
So on 2nd and 2 now, Morgan in the shotgun with 2 backs back there. High snap. He's able to catch it, and he's going to be brought down after no gain, it looks like. And that's a busted play for that Dragon offense. And it looks like it's going to be, I saw Luke Scott in there, number 57, and I think that was number 2, Cody Clark, in there on the tackle. So 3rd and 2 now for the Dragons. And this would be a huge 3rd down stop, Chad. You talk about getting that defense off the field, but now you still win the field position game because they're going to have to punt it. And we've seen some bad snaps already.
Yeah, and we've seen kicking game, right? So this is huge right here.
So Morgan will be under center here with Bailey in the backfield. They're going to hand it to him, and he is going to get the 1st down and more. But there's another flag on the play, and I'm going to guess that's against the Redwater Dragons because I'm seeing what's happening on the far side is number 8, Miller Witt, and number 6, Isaac Lundqvist were going at it. And just from what you saw, it didn't look good for the Dragons. Let's see what the penalty is. And you got to accept it here because if not, it's a 1st down for the Dragons. But it would be a huge thing to get the penalty here.
Just might have got his arms wrapped around him, tackled him, and
Yep, hold on the offense. That's good for us. So it's going to be half the distance to the goal. It's going to be about 3rd and almost 8, Chad. And now you also move them back inside to about the 5-yard line, just inside the 5-yard line, actually.
Right here probably, man.
Actually, just outside the 5-yard line, excuse me.
Being 3rd down, they're probably going to throw it out here. Unless they screen, they could screen you right here.
Well, you got to be prepared for that one right now. It says 3rd and 6 on the board, guys. It's honestly about 3rd and 8. I know you can't see it, but it's a long 3rd and 7, if not 3rd and 8 here. Now, Morgan in the shotgun, takes snap, rolls out to the near side. Good pressure by the defense. He's going to throw the long pass, and it is going to be caught.
Flood route again.
Oh, they're saying incomplete.
Oh, wow.
They're saying he came down out of bounds. And I think that's just good defense there as Nico Metnin came in and hit him in the air and may have knocked him out of bounds.
It looks close. I thought he got his feet down. They call it the route combination they just ran right there is what we'll call a flood route. Outside guy runs straight up the field. Inside guy runs an out. Inside guy runs a quick out. And we're just not they ran it down here on us earlier on the other end of the field, and we're just not getting that switch to the out soon enough.
So 4th down and about 7 here for the Dragons. Ball spotted just outside their own 5-yard line. I know the camera work, guys. We're working on it, I promise you, and we are.
Hey, and you got Morgan punting. So
it is as close. We are trying the best we can to get up and running. We appreciate you staying with us. And delay a game penalty, that's not ideal because now it's going to back them up even more. It's going to be 4th and about 9 here. Now it's going to be back to the 3-yard line. Do you take the safety, Chad?
That's what I'm just fixing to say. A bad snap right here can go – I mean, we've seen just from the center to the quarterback, we've seen 2 high snaps on them. I mean, and now they're on the –
and it's going to be the 3.
3. I mean, it's
so 4th and 9 from – about the 3-yard line.
Wisner back deep. There's the ball was on the ground.
It's a low snap, and it's a high kick, but it is short. Just get away from it, and it goes out of bounds.
Wow.
Inside the 20. Let's see where they mark it at. Yeah, they're going to say at about the – Chad, it looks like about the 17-yard line, 16-yard line for Brook Hill. So the interception works out because it pins them back deep. You get a couple of penalties here that help you out. Now you got a chance inside the 20 to score.
Man, that's a learning play for the Redwater secondary right
Absolutely.
there. You know, tomorrow that will be one that is earmarked. Hey, this really hurt us.
And there was another penalty, by the way. I'm just seeing a penalty against Redwater that Brook Hill obviously would have climbed because you want that field position. And it's going to be 1st and 10. And it looks like, Chad, at the 18-yard line here.
Hey,
so this is good.
Hey, secondary guys, you want to make that play. You want to make that interception. But you just got to think long term. And that's hard to do for a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid.
Absolutely. So here we go now. 1st and 10 for the guard at the 17-yard line. LaPointe to the right of Ryle in the shotgun. And another freeze. They get him off sides. Now they're going to throw it deep. They're looking for Yates, and they're going to overthrow him, but it's still going to be a 5-yarder, and it'll be 1st and 5 from the 12.
The old freeze play.
We're up to what now? 4 freeze plays now in the first quarter so far?
And, you see that early in the year, especially with an aggressive defense that wants to pin their ears back and go. What's the quickest way to slow them down?
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And or you screen them. And honestly, why screen them right now?
Right,
why do it? Why do it yet? Because right now this is working.
Because with the freeze play, Yates gets by him.
It's touchdown.
Yeah.
So 1st and 5 now from the 12. Ryle takes a snap. He's going to hand off to LaPointe. LaPointe up the middle, and a gain of about, he's still going. They're still pushing the pile.
First down.
And it's going to be a 1st down, and it's going to be just at about the 6-yard line, Chad. And so that's what that offensive line can do.
A great job. LaPointe just not stopping his feet. Little tempo right here.
Here we go. First, I'm going to say it's 1st and goal from the 6. Here we go. Ryle. LaPointe to his right.
Offsides.
Another free play, and they're going to Yates in the corner, just over his outstretched hands. And
he jumped just a little bit too soon, or he catches that one.
He did.
It's amazing.
And borderline PI too.
Right.
Borderline PI. But
it looked like that they drew him across again, but there's no flag on the play this time.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5 now. 3:14 to play here in this first period. Redwater opened up the ball game with a great offensive drive to go up 8-0. Now Brook Hill, after their first drive ended with an interception, trying to punch this one in to even it up. So Ryle in the shotgun takes a snap. Or he's going to actually send Hanson in motion. Hands off to LaPointe up the middle. And LaPointe runs so hard, man. He gets up to about the 3-yard line here.
But, he just he gets hit and he just turns and just keeps grinding and getting as much as he can. That's what you want to see in a running back.
So now it'll be 3rd down and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Well, of course, you want every running back you give it to just find the hole, stick his foot in it, and get upfield. That doesn't happen all the time. sometimes you just got to grind it out, and that's what we're doing right now.
So we've seen a little tempo here, but also now we're seeing them slow it down a little bit, be a little more deliberate down here in the end zone or near the end zone. 2 receivers to the near side. It's Witten in the orbit motion. They're going to fake the handoff to LaPointe. Riles going to keep it, and Riles into the end zone. Touchdown guard.
Great job. Great read by Zach. Followed it. He just rode running back in there and just followed right behind him into the end zone.
And credit that offensive line because the last few plays, I know you can't see it, they have literally been blocking guys 7-8 yards down the field.
Lining up on the gate right here.
This is the old Brook Hill special, the swinging gate, and we'll see at Redwater how they're going to line up to it. They've actually got too many on the field. And because we substituted, they get a chance to get them off. And so here we go. In that gate, they're going to give it on the first time over there. And I believe
he got in.
Who is that? That is number 4. No, it's number 4. That is Casper Hansen who gets in on the 2-point try. And we are knotted up at 8. 2:24 to play. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
We are back here in Redwater, and the guard has just knotted this game up. We are tied up 8 apiece after the Zach Ryle 2-yard touchdown. And, Chad, just a great answer. After the rough defensive series, you get another stop, and now you get a touchdown.
Did exactly what you needed to do right there. Go down, stay calm, and they did, and were able to punch it in and knot it up for us.
So you can see there on the camera, we are making some moves to try to make this thing work better for you. Here's the thing, guys. There's just a lot of connection issues and wireless connectivity that's just not working, so we're bringing the camera inside to make this work better for you. But we have 2:24 to play here in this first quarter. You're getting a live look inside the booth. You are looking live inside the booth, as Brent Musburger would say. And Gavito in to kick off here for the guard. And Gavito with the big leg again. And this time it's going to be returned.
Oh, he's going to bring it out.
Yeah, it's going to be Vaughn on the return, and Vaughn is going to be dropped pretty quickly just inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line.
Tackled by Grayson Roselle, number 10.
Attaboy, good for Grayson to get in there on special teams, and that's what you got to do, right? You're a sophomore. When you get your time on Friday night, that's what you got to go do.
Hey, that's where you get your time on film right there. Special times, right? Special teams wise as a younger.
So now, can you get another stop here? That defensive line, we mentioned Edward Park and Eli Hall at the ends. Brantley Bruno in there at the nose tackle. The outside linebackers, Greg Lacasse-Grandin, and also that's number 6, Isaac Lundqvist. The inside linebackers, Hayden Watson and also Jonas Arahavi. The corners are Casper Hansen and Blake Witten. The safeties, Cody Clark and Nico Metnin. Have a little camera action here now. You can see a little better, and we're doing the best we can to get this working for you guys, I promise. Thanks to Jaron Peoples.
Look for Redwater right here to go back to the run game. There they go.
There it is. That back to Bailey, and Bailey up the gut. And once again, this is the one problem that Brook Hill's going to have to solve after this first quarter is how are we going to stop this inside run game that's been really good?
And you'd be the one to help make that adjustment right there. I don't know if I can't tell right now. Are they doubling? Are they doubling the nose right there? And
here's the thing,
getting up to the backer.
But in this defense, Chad, you know this a little bit. It really shouldn't matter because you should have backers filling in there. So it's really this defense is so much about all 11 guys doing their job that we don't even. It could be somewhere away from the ball that we're seeing this. Here we go. First and 10 now for the Dragons. Ball spotted at the 29-yard line. They're going to give it to Bailey again. They're going to see until you stop it, they're going to keep doing it. And that time we stop it at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like that was Eli Hall in there, and also looks like Cody Clark again getting in there. So here comes Sidney Rouleau stepping in on defense, number 72.
No gain on the play, second down, Dragons.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Look them go up to the twin side up top.
Quarterback, junior Braylon Morgan in the shotgun, takes a snap. And we're going to have a flag. And we're going to get a false start here is what you would think with stopping it when they did. Let's see what we got here. Oh, delay a game.
That's twice. And again, you say it's first game. That happens. You, as a coach, you don't want to see that happen, but you'd rather see it this week than
For sure.
weeks to come.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And now a timeout taken, the 2nd of the half by the Dragons. And we're going to take the timeout with them here. You're listening and watching Brook Hill football here on NETSN.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance.
That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
Okay, back here in Redwater on NETSN. Brook Hill and Redwater tied up 8 apiece here with just 46 seconds left to play in this first quarter. If you've been with us this whole time, we appreciate you. I know the camera issues have been a little crazy for us, and we are working on that the best we can. I think right now it's at least up for you, and we're trying to make sure we get the best video we can. We don't want it to be choppy. That's worse than just listening to us. After the timeout, 2nd and 15 here for the Dragons. Split backfield, 2 receivers to the near side. Morgan, the quarterback. He's looking to pass now. Has some time. Escapes the pressure at the beginning, but can't get away from it. And ultimately, he is going to be brought down, and that is number 72 for Brook Hill. That is Sidney Rouleau on the stop. Eli Hall in there also with him.
Great job by the defensive line right there, not chasing after him upfield and then him, flushing out. Stayed where they were supposed to. They got the pressure from the outside, made him step up into the pocket. Thought he could run for it, and Sid slowed him down.
Yeah, that good pass rush retrace we talk a lot about with that defensive line. 3rd and 13 now, as you can see it here on the screen.
Maybe last play of the quarter.
Yeah, if they even snap it, they only have the play clock, they're going to let it go. Morgan is going to snap it, rolls out the far side looking to pass, and it is incomplete. And that's going to end the first quarter. And it'll be 4th down when we come back. We are knotted up at 8. Week 1 quarter in. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
When you talk about Brook Hill Athletics, you're talking about a program that gives you the whole package. At Brook Hill, we are very competitive athletically. In fact, we've won 14 state championships in the last 11 years. We have state-of-the-art athletic facilities, and with our new turf training field, we're once again proving our commitment to providing quality athletic venues. We have 20 coaches at Brook Hill who are full-time employees. What that means is they're here all day, every day, investing in the lives of your student athlete by mentoring, being advisors, and preparing them for college. These coaches will also form lifelong relationships with their players. Our coaches are not only committed to getting each athlete ready to go to college, they're also committed to getting these athletes ready to play at the next level. And now, by partnering with APEC, our athletes, male and female, are being trained by some of the best coaches in the world. I've been involved in athletics for a long time, and I know what a winner looks like. If you want to win on the field and off, then you need to consider becoming a student at Brook Hill. Remember, Brook Hill Athletics will change your life. Come join the team.
Okay, back here in Redwater, we've played 1 quarter, and we are knotted up at 8. Week 1 of the high school football season, Redwater facing a 4th and 13, and they're going to punt it away here. Morgan, the punter, it's blocked. It is tipped, and Brook Hill is going to pick it up, and on the block that time was Jonas Sarahavi. And let's see who picked that thing up. I don't know if that was the best decision, but it worked out.
I don't know. Somebody got flipped upside down. I don't know if he's the one that got his hand on it or what, if it was just a bad punt.
Looked like maybe Hayden Watson is the one who picked that ball up. Either way, once again, great field position for Brook Hill, Chad.
Hey, a lot of things come back to the kicking game, right? We talk about it. I'm sorry about that. Talk about it all the time. Kicking game can get you beat and can win you ball games.
1st and 10 at the Redwater 24. Pretty good to start your drive at the other team's 24-yard line.
Look for Coach Copeland to see if we can't just go back and establish that run game.
Yeah, or do you want to take a shot here?
After a turnover?
Maybe.
That's what it calls for.
Rao sends Witten in motion, the orbit motion. Rao going to fake the handoff on the keeper. He's going to keep it off the right side, and he's going to gain about 6 yards, it looks like. And Rao, you know, we talked about this in one of the scrimmages. Maybe not the fastest guy, but he knows how to run the football and knows where to run it.
Smart runner.
He is a good runner.
He's smart. He's big, tall, lanky kid, but he runs the ball hard.
2nd and about 5 here now. Rao on the shotgun is the camera back up for you here. You can see it. We apologize, and we want to thank all of you who have stayed with us through this first quarter. Big thanks to Jaron Peoples, who's here with us tonight, and Jaron has earned his paycheck tonight. Rao hands it off to PA. LaPointe up the middle, and a first down at about the 8-yard line.
Boy, he stuck his foot in the ground a couple of different times, changed direction. Tell you what I like, I've seen 3 different types of tempo for our offense. Fast, slow, and check with me.
Yeah, why not? And the handoff here. Gosh. That's LaPointe again.
He is shifty, slippery. The guy, he had him for a loss in the backfield, and he ended up gaining a couple.
However many adjectives you want to have for him, he's all of them right now.
Trying.
So the ball down now at about the 6-yard line.
I think they stay with what they're doing.
Yeah, why not? Establish that. I mean, you're trying to fix it right now. 2nd and goal from the 6. Bad snap. Rao's going to handle it, keep it himself off the right side. He's going to be close to the goal line. They're going to say he's just about 2 yards short potentially.
Hey, here's one thing we got Javi, right here. Try to bust it in right here on third. 3rd and short.
Absolutely.
And if not, I mean, you've got the opportunity to kick it and get some points on the board.
Now, we do have Javi back. The one thing we don't have back, we have a new holder and a new deep snapper. As you lose all 3 of the guys, both the guys who snapped last year, Durrett and McNeil, also Cam Rao, who's been the holder for the last 3 years. He's gone. But, listen, we'll
get
talk
it on
about
the ground, let him put it in the air.
We can talk about special teams later, but this is a team who spends their time on special teams. Rao now puts a man in motion, takes it, hands off to PA again.
Well,
and
don't
PA up the middle. Touchdown guard.
Great job. Great play call right there. That thing opened up, and he hit it just like he was supposed to.
And credit that offensive line once again. Rouleau, Bruno, Guba. Desailly is in there. Luke Scott. I'm going to enjoy saying that one all year. Larry Desailly. I'm just going to call him Larry. Here we go now on the swinging gate. Now they're going to shift over and give Gavito a chance to make that extra point.
We got Weisner holding. Good hands, good athlete right here to get the ball on the tee for Javi.
It's probably going to be Schluter in the deep snapper. I didn't see. And the snap, the hold, the kick is up. It is true, and it is 15-8. Brook Hill takes their first lead of the season. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
Okay, we are back here in Redwater, and once again, still working on that camera as I see our guys, Jaron Peoples, our cameraman, Calvin, going to work for us here to try to get this camera situation resolved so you can enjoy here the rest of this ball game as Brook Hill now, Chad, up 15-8. And it just takes a little time sometimes to settle in week one and get things going the way you need them to.
You know, we talk about it during those scrimmages. You know, you're antsy. It's game one. You know, it's the same way in the scrimmages. They're just butterflies going everywhere. Once you get in a routine, get in a rhythm, right? That's what Coach Copeland's wanting to do on the offense side. The same thing Coach Collins is wanting to do on the defense side. Just slow them down a little bit. Instead, just do what you're supposed to do.
So we had a 2-yard touchdown run from Ryle and then a 6-yard touchdown run from LaPointe. I'm trying to keep up, Chad. I got so excited about those 2 touchdowns. Forgot to mark down my times here, but we're at 15-8 now.
I'm saying Gavito puts it in the end zone again. I don't know if they'll bring it out this time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was amped up on that first kickoff of the game. Second one was a little short of the goal line, but they decided to run it back. And Gavito now, he punches that one. And Bailey tries to catch it in the end zone. And he picks – I'll tell you what, Bailey thought better of that one because he looked like he might try to pick it up and run with it.
I thought he might have – and he was very close to stepping out of the back of the end zone too, which would not have been good.
So once again, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Good viewership already here as we're in the second quarter. And with the camera issues, we'll take it, considering what's happened here in this first half of the game. If you're watching, make sure you check into the chat. I do see Coach Savannah Wilson, that volleyball team, is in Orlando, Florida, playing this weekend. Had 2 games yesterday. I think they are 3 games yesterday. I think 2 today. I'm going to try to get with Coach Dawkins at halftime. He was actually there yesterday and flew back for the football game today. So hopefully we get a chance to talk to him about that experience. I know they've had a great time. Great team bonding, regardless.
What a great opportunity for those girls. That'll be something they'll always remember.
So here we go now. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Ball at the 25-yard line. Morgan under center is going to hand it off to Bailey, and great job. Stop there. Yes, who was that again? That was once again Rouleau, yeah.
Great job.
And we're
went with his pullers right there.
Well, that's
the
job of the defensive line,
exactly.
right? Listen, I've been preaching that for the last decade.
They pulled away from him. He followed them and did exactly what he's supposed to do, tackled for a loss.
And I think one of the best things about this defense, as we do have a time on the field, one of the best things about this defense is when you do play it right, it is really good.
Yeah.
The scheme is really good. We're going to kind of check out what all is going on here around East Texas. I'm going to bring in – Jaron, you want to pop in for a second? Let me see. Let me turn him on here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on. I'm trying, Jaron. I got you here somewhere. Maybe I do. Go ahead, Jaron. What you got?
You got me?
I do not have you, but maybe we got a little. We'll see here. I'll let Jaron work on that now. He's working on everything else now. My man is a master of all trades. It's 2nd and 11 after the timeout on the field.
Passing down right here.
And they're going to keep him under center. We'll see if that's what they do here. Morgan, that I formation. I'm going to hand off to Bailey. And a great tackle there. That is Jonas Sarahavi. Let me tell you something. This is his 3rd year of making plays like that in this defense, and that's another great one there. And they're going to have no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 11 again.
Talking about it being his 3rd year. Each year you've seen progressions for him, and he is – a staple right there in the middle of our defense this year.
So they're going to say he got back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10 here.
3rd and 10, Dragons.
8:20 and counting here in the first half. Once again, thanks for tuning in. A little technical difficulties. We're working on it, I promise.
Passing down.
Morgan. Going to roll out to that far side again.
Great job.
And a pass almost intercepted.
There's our defensive end up there.
That was Eli Hall on that. It looks like it. No, Eli's on the near side. So that was
Grayson Roselle, number 10.
Grayson Roselle,
stayed wide, did exactly what he's coached to do, made that quarterback keep running out to the left and running left and throwing back across your body.
We'll let
tough.
you try that all you want to. Nico Metnin almost with an interception, deflected it away. And it's going to be 4th down and a long 10 now, and they're going to punt it away again. Morgan is the punter, the quarterback, so you always have to have that in the back of your mind. Drew Wisner back deep to return the punt. Morgan, that's a good kick. That's his best one of the night. Wisner's going to call for the fair catch, and he gets it at the 35-yard line. That's where Brook Hill will take over. And can you now add to this momentum?
That's what you want, you know. You get pretty good field position right here starting at the 35-yard line. And now let's you got a lead. Now Coach Copeland can take, you know, the cuffs off and just maybe open it up a little bit on the offense.
You know, honestly, at this point, I'm thinking, like, what kind of 8-minute drive you got to score a touchdown here? Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We are working on the camera. We are still working on this, I promise you. 1st and 10. Ryle with split backs. Going to fake the handoff and just going to keep it. Probably a good decision there. There wasn't much going to happen on that play either way, Chad. He made the right decision.
Yeah, you know, you'd rather go down, be able to play another one instead of turning it over right there, because you see it all the time. That ball ends up on the ground.
Well, and it's easy also. You have the lead. You're not really pressing at this point. You just live to play another down.
Right.
And that's, I think in this offense, when you get guys to understand that, now you can be a lot more successful.
Yeah. It's hard to have 15, 16, 17-year-old kids understand that, though,
Absolutely.
too, sometimes.
2nd and 10, Ryle again. Going to take the snap, drop back, looking to pass. Looking deep down the field. He's got Yates if he can get him, and he does.
Oh, wow.
It's caught on the sideline, inside the 15-yard line, Daniel Yates. And they've looked for him a few times tonight, and this time they can connect.
What a throw by Zach. I mean, he just stood there in the pocket, under poise, and just let it loose. And that is a great ball.
Daniel Yates, the senior receiver for Brook Hill. Not bad for a center fielder, huh?
Didn't know if he wanted to play football,
yeah,
huh?
Baseball kid. They're like, okay, yeah, this guy's ready to go. So here we go now, 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. And let's see, we're going to get a – not sure what the discussion is here.
No, the down marker and chains weren't set correctly.
Well, sometimes it happens. You get a big play like that. So here we go, 1st and 10. Ryle sends Hansen in motion. They're going to give it to Hansen. Hansen on the jet sweep, makes one move, and he gains a couple of yards there, Chad. But you like just the diversity in the offense. You can't just keep going back to the same thing over and over.
You can't key on one person on their for their defense. They can't key on one person for us. We've spread it around enough. I mean, you got Yates, you got Ryle, you got
it's Hansen,
yeah,
Witten, and all kind of guys in there. LaPointe. So here we go now, 2nd and 9. They're going to give him a yard on that. It looked like it may have been a little more initially.
And moving it around gives the other guys a little bit of rest.
Absolutely. Ryle now looking to pass. Has some time, now steps up to the pocket, looking to run, makes one man miss, and he's over the middle, still on his feet. And Ryle inside to about the 6-yard line, maybe the 7. So a gain of about 7 on the play will bring up about 3rd and a long 3.
You talk about Zach. He's been through this offense since he could probably throw a football on how to read his different keys. And he went all through his progressions right there and did the smart thing, pulled it down and got upfield and got some positive yards.
And no matter what offense he's run, it's the same thing. Zach is a really smart quarterback, usually makes some really good decisions. As the play clock now down to 7:6.5, and now we're going to get a timeout. Brook Hill will take a timeout. 5:31 to play in the first half. We're going to take it with them, and we'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Okay, we are back here in Redwater, where we are about 5.5 minutes away from the half, and Brook Hill here in week 1 leads the Dragons 15-8. Chad, I know a lot of things going on. Let's see. We're going to try to bring in our man Jaron here. If he's thinking, let's try this again. Jaron, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Still nothing, Jaron. I don't know. Maybe we just don't like you tonight. I don't know what's going on here.
No, I'm there. I'm there.
I hear him.
Yeah.
You
I
can
don't know
hear
if
him.
you can.
I cannot hear him. Maybe that's me. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
see.
good.
Yeah. All right, there, now I got you. Here we go.
Hey.
Third down here. Ryle hands off to LaPointe. LaPointe, he's down to the goal line, and he is in. Touchdown guard.
He's so hard to bring down.
A 6-yard touchdown run for P.A. LaPointe, and it's a 21-8 lead now with the extra point to come.
The pass play to Yates from Ryle set that whole drive up right there.
Absolutely. Now you got LaPointe in that little sniffer spot in the gate, and they're going to shift over, kick that extra point. So LaPointe with another 6-yard touchdown run, his second of the night. 3 yards out. The scoreboard's a little off. Cavito's point after attempt is up. It is good, and it is now 22-8. Brook Hill on top. We'll take another timeout, and we'll be right back.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance.
That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
We are back here in Redwater. The score now 22-8. The guard on top of the Dragons. And all right, Jaron, now you're here.
I'm here.
Man,
running around crazy.
First off, thank you. And I think people at home watching would say thank you as well. I mean, seriously, that is for the people who stuck with us and had to listen to us just do radio style for a little bit. People are watching from all over. We got people from Finland. We got people I see in Nacogdoches down at SFA. Enrico's there. My daughter's in Fort Worth. I see Coach Wilson and the volleyball team in Florida. They're all over the place, and they all say cheers to you, Jaron Peoples.
Well, and it's still not quite to our NETSN standard, but they're getting some picture there, and so getting to keep up with the game. So down over in Carlisle Airhead Stadium, the stadium completely lost power, so they're just without. So hey,
I was just seeing that a transformer blew over the stadium, and the parents are holding up their phone flashlights to help the band perform, which is pretty awesome in its own right. But yeah, they're having some issues there. As Gavito's kickoff is a low kick, and that's going to be number 4 on the return there. That's Wheat, I believe.
Yes.
And he's finally tripped up down there. I'm not sure who finally got him. It looked like it may have been a little bit of either friendly fire that got him, but also Greg Lacasse Grandin in there on the stop. So now we can all kind of take a deep breath and settle in how Brook Hill up by 2 touchdowns, 22-8. We got the camera up and running.
Right.
You can see the game.
Everybody can.
We can stop stressing a little bit here as we're getting there.
We talk about it, the scrimmages. We just knew we had everything worked right, But, hey, we got the man down here because if it was me and you, that probably wouldn't be seeing anything
we'd
tonight.
probably had to go YouTube Live from my phone or something. I'm not sure, but Jaron is the man, and there's a reason why he gets paid as much money as he does to do this. You didn't know? Oh, my bad. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 now for the Dragons, and it'll be the pistol formation with Morgan with Bailey behind him. He's looking to pass again. Great pressure. Now he steps up in the pocket. And here comes the pressure from Hall. And also in there, that's number 8, Greg Lacasse Grandin again. And so what you're seeing, Chad, you mentioned this earlier. They're keeping him in the pocket, making him step up to where the help is.
And no gain because the linemen they're doing what they're taught to do, not getting upfield and chasing after him. And that was great coverage on the secondary right here.
My guess is that Coach Brewer and Coach Collins had some work for that D-line because I think early on maybe they had to wear what was going on with the run game a little bit. And so they've definitely done much better here since those first couple of drives. And it's 2nd and 10 now. Morgan hands off this time once again. I believe that's Vaughn.
Great job.
And he's dropped in the backfield. And I believe that is number 8 again. That's Greg Lacasse Grandin. I'm going to get that right eventually.
Hey, we got 10 ball games to get it right.
Hey, and here's the thing, and
Plus.
you see wholesale changes on the defensive line. Barter comes in to play in. Rouleau comes in to play in. That's Bruno in there at the nose.
Great to see those guys getting out there on the field, giving breathers to the starters. That means that they feel confident enough to put these guys in, right?
There is depth at that defensive line that is pretty nice to have. As the play clock already down to 6, they're going to have to hurry, Chad. They only have 1 timeout left, and they've been flagged for delay a couple of times now. And they're going. I believe they got the timeout in time, and they do. Timeout for the Dragons with 3:43 to play as the play clock was down to 0. All right, Jaron, I know you're a little busy here, but we were talking about maybe some scores. And by the way, if you're watching, we do have the scores up on the ticker at the top of the screen. And here's one for you, Jaron. I just saw this, top one. How about Lufkin beating Longview 14-7 in the second quarter down here in East Texas? That's an interesting score early on.
Yeah, I got another one. Grace Community in Queen City tied up at 13-13.
Well, I'm not real sure what to make of that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for somebody or bad for somebody.
Got another interesting one. Mount Vernon up on New Diana 24-15. Some questions with New Diana with a new coach. And
a lot of changes there for a team that had such a great year last year.
You know, talking about that Lufkin-Longview score, I mean, Longview's got a lot of high emotions this week. You know, getting the diagnosis for Coach King of the mouth cancer. You know, you don't know how the kids are going to take that. But all prayers out to Coach that treatment goes well and he's back.
Absolutely.
Going.
Check this one out. West Rusk up on Malakoff 14-7.
Get back.
Malakoff's not the same as they used to be though. 3rd and 8 in here after the timeout. Morgan fakes the handoff, play action over the middle, and he's tripped up. And I don't think you can throw a flag on that, but I tell you what, they just got their feet caught up there.
A little tight end hot right there. Saw that last year from them. I didn't see that during the scrimmage, and that's one that you don't show leading up to game 1. But going back and being able to watch last year's film, that was a play that they went to multiple times on that Y hot.
Well, you know, last year, too, a lot of deep threats for them offensively that we haven't seen so far here yet.
They had a guy last year that could.
Well, that's true. They had a guy to go do it. So 3:37 to play. It is 4th down again. The Dragons will punt it away. Another low snap. And he's going to be brought down to the backfield. And once again, that is going to be Greg Lacasse Grandin. And I tell you, it feels like Brook Hill has been on Redwater's end of the field ever since the first drive.
The one time we didn't was the next 2 plays. Zach throws the ball down there to Daniel Yates and gets us on their side of the field.
That's true.
So, yeah, it does seem like the second half we've been on their side of the field the whole half.
So we'll see what they can cook up here at the 20-yard line. I mean, you can't ask for better field position than Brook Hill's had in this first half.
Yeah, it's after the first drive defensively, after the first drive offensively, you know, it kind of sputtered. They've gotten in a routine and a rhythm.
All right, so here we go. Now see what they got. It looks like a little wing set here to the near side. You mentioned that check with me as they go back to it to see what they can do. And now they're going to move a guy over. That is Brig Hargett they're moving over. By the way, Hargett can absolutely fly. Wouldn't surprise me to see them try to take advantage of that. As Rowell takes a snap, fakes a handoff, looking to pass. Hargett is deep. Rowell throws in. It's caught by Schluter. And Schluter inside the 5-yard line.
Got a flag on the play.
And it's going to be that's going to be a hold.
Sid's up there pretty far because it be Lyman downfield.
Let's see what you got here. I would think the clock's still running. They're going to have to fix that. I think it's probably going to be – I think you're right. Yep, an eligible man downfield. Thank you, Chad. You got that eye for that. in all fairness, he's from Canada. They got all kind of funny rules up there, right? You can run forward, and there's the field's 10 yards longer, whatever. I mean, they
got an extra man.
Listen, we got to be fair to sit here, right? I mean, that is what it is. But no,
he's just being aggressive right there. Hey, that's coachable right there. You don't want to take the effort out of that. You know, you don't want to say, hey, just keep playing. And
it also took a long time to develop, right? I mean,
yeah.
At this point, there comes a point in a lineman's head you're thinking, okay, the quarterback's moving around, right?
He's got to be running. Well, he was running, but he was sprinting out.
Well, and credit to Ryle, because you see a lot of high school quarterbacks, Chad, that when they get that they're rushed and they're out there on the outside, they just
panic.
They panic and they just do something, and Ryle didn't do it there. And that's a great route by Schluter to get open, and you saw Brigg break his off as well. 1st and 15, Ryle now looks to pass. Screen pass over to Yates. Yates makes the first man miss, and he's brought down hard, actually, after a couple of yards.
Gets back
sorry, about 7 yards. Sorry, I forgot about the penalty. Going to be second down and about 8 here.
Positive play right there. Gain some positive yards right there, and get back in manageable downs, and go get it right here.
So second down and about 8. They're calling it 9. Ball at the 19-yard line. That's Witten in that orbit motion. Now he's going to twirl and go back. Antoine. Oh, no, they're going to hand it off to Witten. Witten on the pitch, and he's down to about the 15-yard line. He'll gain about 4 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and about 5 here, Chad. And you got options in this offense.
Got an injured Dragon on the field. They're going to take a timeout. Yeah, you got options. Do you want to give it? You want to put it in the air, out to Yates? Do you want to give it to the running back, or you want to let Zach keep it?
And if you're the Redwater defense, what are you even thinking here, right? Because they've done so many different things, right? It's been a great half of offense for Coach Copeland and this offensive staff. And honestly, just throw the first drive out the window, like whatever, okay? But after the first drive, those guys have been primed and ready to go, and it's been a great half of football. Real quick, Jaron, I got you. I know you're looking at scores and stuff, but let's talk about some of the other games on the network. We had 4 games last night, first of all, right?
Yep.
You were in Winsboro, Tatum in Winsboro, and a big Red Raider win. I got to say that real slow, right?
Weather win.
Yeah.
Weather win.
Over in Hallsville was Lindell over Hallsville.
Yep.
Brett was at the Nacogdoches win over Palestine, and we also what was the other game we had last night? We had the
Beckville St. Augustine.
Beckville St. Augustine, which was kind of a shocking result.
Yeah.
Tonight, Jaron, what do we got?
We've got White House over at Woodrow Wilson. White House up big. I think I saw it as like 33-0. Then we've also got Carlisle and Mount Enterprise over there at Arrowhead.
Arrowhead, Kansas City, huh? Okay, here we go.
Arrowhead Stadium.
Back to action. We'll come back to this. 3rd down and 6 for the guard. Ryle's going to hand off to PA. LaPointe up the middle, and he's still churning those feet. He's trying to get touchdown number 3, and he's down at the 4-yard line.
Just keep feeding him the rock.
I tell you what, man, and golly, just watching that kid, and you look at him out of the pads, and you're like, he can't do that. But, man, he is just built like a tree trunk, and he is running. And guess what, guys? We were wrong. We do have the 2-minute timeout tonight here in Redwater, and we're going to take it with them. We'll be right back here on NETSN.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance. That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
We are back here in the 2-minute timeout. This is new to high school football. We were actually having this conversation on the drive over, guys.
No way.
Yeah, that's a dumb rule. That's never going to pass. And here we are with our first 2-minute timeout of the season. All right, Jaron, finish up. We had White House and Woodrow Wilson, Carlisle and Mount Enterprise. Of course, we're here in Redwater tonight. What else we got on tap this weekend?
Troop in Shelbyville, and Troop's up right now. They're on commercial now, so I can't see exactly what. It's 21-7, so Troop on top of Shelbyville right now.
Troop, a team we saw last week scrimmaging this Brook Hill Guard team. I'm not surprised to see them winning. I think they're going to have a really good year in 2025. After the 2-minute timeout, third down and 6. Or, excuse me, first down and 6. Ryle looking to pass. Pumps the shoulder, and he's incomplete in the end zone. He was trying to get at that time. Looks like to Witten.
Running the rail right there.
And man.
He zipped that way.
He did. And you have to respect his pump fake, right, because he does throw the ball so well.
He gets it out so quick, and that's what the DB did. He broke up on that out, and Witten got behind him, just couldn't connect.
So 2nd and goal now from the 4. You can see there, play clock down to about 10. Witten in motion. Ryle's going to give it to PA. LaPointe up the middle, and he's going to gain maybe a couple there. We'll see if they move that down box. We're kind of at a bad angle to see how far he got. They're going to say no gain. 3rd down and goal from the 4, guys.
Big defensive stand right here for Redwater. They need this right here.
Well, and Yates comes out onto the field and replaces Drew Wisner. Why do you think that is? Yates over 6'3", maybe close to 6'4".
Throw a jump ball and let him go get it.
Definitely the height advantage over there for Yates.
They switched it up.
They did just switch. They've moved Vaughn over there. But guess what? The guy on this side, not half bad either. So we'll see what happens here. Ryle puts Witten in motion, takes a snap, hands off. Nope, fakes the handoff.
Oh,
pitch to Witten is
there
loose.
It is.
And Witten is able to get back on it. Yeah, that's a smart play. As Witten able to get back on top of the ball. And it's going to be a long 4th down. But guess what? This is a chance you can let Javi kick it. Let's see if we're going to do that here. I mean, it's going to be 4th and goal from what, Chad? Looks like about the 20-yard line. Actually, he's right on the 20. I mean, that's less than a 40-yarder for Javi. He's got the leg for it. Do you trust it here?
I think they're going to let the clock run down.
And do it.
And kick it.
Yeah, you're under 30 seconds to play here. You got the
timeouts. About
timeouts.
9 seconds left. They're going to take a timeout.
I like the decision here.
Unfortunate right there on the pitch. Just put it on the ground, but luckily we were able to get on top of it. And depending after, it looks like Coach Harrison is calling up the special teams, the field goal unit right now. So it looks like Javi's going to get a chance.
Well, and you get the timeout because you get to set your guys up. Hey, let's call the timeout. Make sure we got everybody. We got all 11 guys. Everybody knows their job here. You're not trying to run people in and out. You're not giving them a chance to slow sub you right and run the play clock down.
Gives you a chance to slow it down, slow that pace down.
This is not going to be a question about does he have the leg or not. This is going to be more about can we get the rest of it down.
Yeah, can we get the snap?
Can we get the snap?
Hold?
Can we get the hold? And listen, we just saw the pitch that went wild, right? And truthfully, that's the first time we've seen a mistake like that out of this offense tonight. And with the conditions the way they are, you kind of expect more. You've seen Redwater have some issues with the snap. But that's what you got to do, right? You just got to perfect this whole thing here, this whole operation. And I'm watching the screen here from Jaron Whitehouse up 40-0 on Wilson in the 2nd quarter. Hope they at least stop at Bucky's on the way back, Jaron. They may get more work trying to fight through that crowd than the Wilson defense, it looks like. Sorry, I had to say it. I mean, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking here, 40-0. All right, here we go. Gavito's in the kick. Now, I don't see who the deep snapper is here. Yep. Can you see the number there, Chad? We'll get it afterwards, but Wisner is the holder. Ball's on the left hash.
Good snap.
37-yard field goal attempt, and Gavito knocks it through, and it's 25-8. 37-yarder, and we'll take a timeout. And be right back here on NETSN.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
Okay, back here in Redwater, and they had a little clock operation issue there where the clock didn't run during the field goal attempt, so they put 5 seconds on the clock. So you're going to have to kick off. You're going to have to cover here. But you got to feel good if you're Coach Rowell, right? You're up by 17 at this point. And it's been after the first drive, it's been a really good half for the Guard.
Absolutely. We're able to get in, settle down. it wasn't what we wanted offensively or defensively first drive, but looked pretty well since then.
I guess you could say that our broadcast has mirrored the Brook Hill game tonight. We struggled early on, Jaron, but we came through, and we now got a big lead. We got a lot of viewers, over 700 people. We want to thank you all for listening. I see, what my favorite thing is, Jaron, and Chad, I'll be honest, I see a lot of former players here. Some of them, I see Brenna Hill in there. Lila Morris is in there. My daughter Landry is with Lila and Kennison and those girls in Fort Worth, TCU. Enrico Giberte is in there. Ronnie Lindros I saw earlier. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We've had a lot of views tonight here, considering all the issues. Gavito's kick is going to go back through the end zone. And so Redwater's going to get one play. With 5 seconds left here, they're going to get one play here before the half. I think, Chad, you're maybe talking to her, and I think we're going to have a special guest at halftime.
Yeah, trying to tell him how to get up here. It's he may be on his way.
I did see
the
him
world traveler.
I did see him walking across the track. Now, I didn't know if that meant like he was going to the concession stand or if he was getting in his car. He's been traveling a lot. But we are going to talk to Athletic Director Wally Dawkins here at the half. I'm excited about that because he was in Florida the last couple of days with the volleyball team. We're going to talk to him about the American Warrior Bowl next week at home against Frisco Legacy. We'll talk about the Brook Hill Golf Tournament and some things going on there. Chad is excited about the golf tournament because he can actually play golf. Some of us who are tired after 2 holes from swinging the club so much, we're just there to have the fun and win the door prizes. I mean, I won a putter in there one time. I still can't make a putt, Chad. Doesn't help.
Have you used it?
Well, a couple of times. All right, here we go. First and goal. 5 seconds to play. They're going to have a chance to run one play here. Morgan drops back looking to pass. Here comes the pressure. And he's going to get away from the first man and the second one. But here comes Sarahavi trying to get him. High ball is going to be picked off. And an interception for Brook Hill. That is number 6. That's Isaac Lundqvist.
Hey, great job. Great way to end the first half. Sputtered a little bit at first, but we're able to settle it down and come away with 25-8 lead.
The first half ends. It is 25-8, Brook Hill on top. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, Athletic Director Wally Dawkins here on NETSN.
Welcome to Guard Country. I'm Wally Dawkins, Athletic Director at Brook Hill. Athletics is a big deal at Brook Hill. In fact, it's a really big deal. That was CJ and Samuel. They're both members of our football state playoff team. At Brook Hill, winning is the goal of competition, but that's not why we play. But we really love to win. That was Kaylee. Kaylee is the 3-time state champion in the 100-meter and 300-meter hurdles. That's Blake. Blake was a member of our state championship baseball team and our state championship soccer team. And he's coached by the Best Preps Coach of the Year, David Collins. Over 20 of our coaches are full-time employees, including our Director of Athletic Performance and Development. And that's Ben and Dallas. They're both members of our state championship baseball team. And Ben might be the next A.J. Minner. We not only work to develop our students' athletic performance, but also Christ-like character, on and off the field or the court. Hey, Juliana. That was Juliana. Juliana's all orange. She played on 4 different varsity teams at Brook Hill this year. At Brook Hill, we encourage our student athletes to compete in multiple sports. That's Carmen. Carmen has over 600 career strikeouts and was our starting pitcher on this year's state champion softball team. You'll hear us say all orange all the time, and we mean it. The culture of our athletic department is unlike any other at this level. And there's Osagi and Remy, both members of our state playoff basketball teams. Do you want a championship athletic program in a Christian environment that prepares you for the next level? Then come join our team.
Okay, back here in Redwater at the half, Brook Hill leads 25-8, and we're going to take you down the field now and let you listen in to the Redwater High School Marching Band here on NETSN.
competition show from the depths. Their show includes selections from Crimea River by Justin Timberlake, Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, New World Symphony by Dvorak, Red Sea by Hans Zimmer, and Crawling by Linkin Park. The band is under the field direction of Senior Drum Major Alexis Sorsby. Ladies and gentlemen, the Redwater High School Dragon Marching Band. The Dragon Band is under the direction of Dylan Davis, assisted by Brandon Martindale, Candace Cadenhead, Matthew Pettit, and Cooper Monk.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
All right, we're back here at halftime. Brook Hill leads Redwater 25-8, and it is our honor, Chad, to be joined in the box by Athletic Director Wally Dawkins. Coach, thanks for joining us for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, we were talking up here. You've been all over the world, it feels like, in the last few days, I'm sure. You were in Florida with a volleyball team on my days are messed up, on Thursday. Talk a little bit about that experience. That's a great experience for our kids.
Yes, it was a really good opportunity for our girls to go play teams from all across the country. Matter of fact, they played teams that, were really at a high – some of those teams were at a very high level. But we competed well. They're still playing today, and we'll play tomorrow. But I think it's great for our volleyball program that they've gone and done that event and get to have a little fun at Disney World too.
Yeah, that helps. Chad and I were talking about this too, and you coach for a long time, so you know this, right? Like the team bonding, when you go to out-of-town tournament, no matter how far away it is, it's the bonding experience. I know Coach Wilson's going to be thankful for that too.
Well, we for years at White House and Brook Hill, we would go to Abilene. Abilene's not a, vacation destination.
No Disney there.
No Disney there. But that was the main reason we went. We got out somewhere there. We were by ourselves, a lot of team bonding. And I think I told the girls yesterday, one of the main things they wanted to do was make memories, of their team being in Orlando, and I saw that happening. So I'm very happy that they got to go, and I'm very proud of the way they played yesterday.
And they've been off to a hot start, but, before this weekend, they've played really well so far. And in a year that a lot of new faces, a lot of rebuilding, and they've done really well. So I know Coach Wilson was in the chat a minute ago. She was watching the game. I know the girls are probably following it in Orlando. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the Warrior Bowl next week. Obviously, the Texas National Bank American Warrior Bowl. Talk a little bit about that and kind of what that has meant to the athletic department and kind of what's on tap for next weekend.
Sure, that's just an amazing event, not only for the Patriots, the people we honor, like the veterans, active duty military, frontline healthcare workers, first responders. Honor them for the sacrifice they've made to keep us safe, keep us healthy. But it's a great event for our school. It kind of brings our school together. The riled up tailgate party. It's just an event I think that builds community, builds part of our culture, and we're just excited to host it again this year.
I know from time to time there have been specific veterans that we recognize. I think this year, right, Coach, we're just kind of any veterans at this point we're willing to recognize.
Thankfully, we ran out of wars.
That is a good thing.
And
that's a good thing.
I'm hoping that's the case. And so we welcome all veterans and all of our families. If you have we refer to them as patriots. If you have somebody that's active duty, a veteran, first responder, or frontline healthcare worker, invite them to the game. They get a free hamburger dinner. We introduce them by name before the game in a really nice ceremony. And so it's an event that I think we can all be proud of.
I think it's one of the coolest moments of the entire year for me, when all those veterans are lined up on the field and they get recognized one by one. So many of them are grandparents or aunts or uncles or even parents of our athletes or our students. And, Chad, you've seen it a few times. It can be emotional before the game.
Very emotional. Standing, when we used to stand down there on the sidelines and being able to participate in the national anthem with those guys on the field, those men and women, it's something that I'll always remember.
It's pretty special. Coach, the other big event going on, and I want to give you a chance to talk about it a little bit, is going to be the Brook Hill Golf Classic, the 29th annual, I believe is correct.
Right.
And that's coming up on October 20th, I believe, out at Eagles Bluff. Talk a little bit about that, Coach.
Sure. So the athletic department at Brook Hill is pretty much self-funded. My job is to generate all the money to support our teams for uniforms, for supplies, balls, you name it. We raise the money to do that, and the golf tournament is our single biggest fundraiser of the year. Each year we've been having close to 55, 56 teams. I don't think this year is going to be any different. We've got about 34 signed up, and as soon as Chad Grubb signs his team up, we'll have 35. But
I'll do that Monday.
It's on
it's a holiday.
It's on Monday, October 20th at Eagles Bluff, one of the nicest country clubs in the East Texas area, or in the state for that matter. And so we look for a good turnout, good crowd, and support our student athletes.
And a couple of different tee times. You need to play in the morning. You can play in the morning, afternoon, but you need to get that in early because when they're full, in certain times, it's full. For the Warrior Bowl, I do want to mention this. If you have a veteran you want to recognize next Friday night, or if you want to be in the golf tournament, if you want to sponsor some of the golf tournament, we will find a place for you to be a sponsor. Contact Tiffany Hubbard in the Athletic Department, office 894-5000, and then extension 5000. Coach, I also want to make real quick mention of the fact that all the renovations to Kyle Lake Athletic Center this summer have been amazing. It looks great in there. And I know a lot of people – I think there's some new things up even since you were in Florida this week, I've been told. So talk about that because it has really made the place really special.
Well, the Kyle Lake Athletic Center is just, it's one of our facilities that's where people go when they visit. And it looked great the way it was, but it was, 15 or 16 years old, needed a facelift. And luckily we were able to generate monies through some of our families that wanted to see the athletic center remodeled. We've gone digital. Everything pretty much now is on television screen. So you walk in there and you see who's been All-State. You see who's played in college, academic All-State. Got a lot of new graphics. It's a really nice facility now. It looks like a college facility, and we're very proud of it.
It's special, and I tell you, as people come in the next few weeks for different events, the Warrior Bowl, for homecoming, those type things, I think they're going to be really shocked what they see. Chad, you got anything else here for Coach Dawkins? You better get your team signed up, man. That's what he said.
Well, hey, y'all aren't asking me any questions about what I would do differently
you know what?
Offense or defense.
Actually, I wasn't going to put you on the spot. I actually be curious, Coach, what would be your game plan here in the second half?
I'd throw a Hail Mary. I'd just open up with a Hail Mary.
I tell you what, though, Coach, how good is it? The offense, after the first drive, Coach, has actually looked really good. They've been able to kind of do what they want to. That offensive line has done well, but we saw a couple of deep balls to Daniel Yates, and P.A. LaPointe has run the ball really well. It's kind of been a fun offense to watch here.
It really has, and I'll tell you what's amazing to me. We lost about 18 or 19 seniors last year.
Yep.
And one of the biggest challenges for any coach in any sport is to try to get his team to gel. And for so many new faces that we have this year, and being a day boarding school from all over the world, the job our coaches have done up to this point, and I'm sure it's going to get better. But to gel these kids together, the way they're playing is really amazing, and I'm very proud of our coaching staff for that.
And we talk about that earlier in the scrimmages and then tonight. That's the hardest part about, I believe, Coach Ryle has to get those guys that come from all over the world, and it's not like East Texas schools that get to practice with your kids all summer.
Right.
We get them 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And trying to get them before scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a real interesting, thing to watch when your left tackle speaks French, your left guard speaks Hungarian, your right guard speaks Finnish. It's tough.
And Luke Scott's from East Texas, so who knows what he speaks.
Yeah. There you go.
It's kind of crazy. Well, Coach, we do appreciate you coming over, and we'll talk with you more soon. And make sure Warrior Bowl coming up next Friday night at home against Frisco Legacy. Should be a fun night. The 29th Annual Brook Hill Golf Classic, October 20th. Get signed up for all those things. We'll take another time out. We'll be back here on NETSN.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
When you talk about Brook Hill Athletics, you're talking about a program that gives you the whole package. At Brook Hill, we are very competitive athletically. In fact, we've won 14 state championships in the last 11 years. We have state-of-the-art athletic facilities, and with our new turf training field, we're once again proving our commitment to providing quality athletic venues. We have 20 coaches at Brook Hill who are full-time employees. What that means is they're here all day, every day, investing in the lives of your student athlete by mentoring, being advisors, and preparing them for college. These coaches will also form lifelong relationships with their players. Our coaches are not only committed to getting each athlete ready to go to college, they're also committed to getting these athletes ready to play at the next level. And now, by partnering with APEC, our athletes, male and female, are being trained by some of the best coaches in the world. You know, I've been involved in athletics for a long time, and I know what a winner looks like. If you want to win on the field and off, then you need to consider becoming a student at Brook Hill. Remember, Brook Hill Athletics will change your life. Come join the team.
All right, we are back here in Redwater where the Brook Hill Guard lead the Dragons 25-8 as we are just about 6 minutes or so from the half. I'm going to turn it over real quickly to Chad as he has some scores from around our district.
All right, Bishop Dunn and Hyde Park, no scores reporting in those two separate ball games. We've got Brentwood Christian playing host to Temple Central Texas Christian. They're down 21-14 with 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
That's actually a shock because Temple Christian is a lower level school. They're not terrible, but we kind of expected Brentwood maybe to take a step up this year.
Well, you know, you look at our district and you think it's going to be, Hyde Park. Is it going to be us? Is it going to be Brentwood for that 3-4 spot?
Yeah.
Throw Grace in there with that. We've got Austin Regents tied with Lorena with 4 minutes left in the first half at 28. Regents going to be good.
Yeah.
Grace Prep down. They're just down 2 to Fort Worth Nolan, 16-14. And let's see any more. I think the last one we have is Grace and Queen City at halftime. Grace is leading 16-13.
I got to be honest. Every score you mentioned to me is a little shocking for a lot of reasons. The Nolan Catholic Grace Prep score. Nolan Catholic's been down some, but Grace Prep last year really struggled. And for them to be in a 2-point game with them, I think is maybe not what I would have predicted. The Regents Lorena score. Lorena's usually pretty strong, and so to be tied with them, I'd be curious to see what Hyde Park and Dunn do as well. But the Brentwood score, that still is kind of shocking to me, as well as the Grace Queen City score. I know Coach Dawkins mentioned this a minute ago, Brook Hill lost a lot and having to figure out a way to replace it. Grace lost a lot too. I mean, they lost some players. It'll take some time to that's what you play these games for, is to figure it out.
They're changing some defense over there too. They're offensively, they got a new coordinator over there offensively also. So offense, defense, it may just take a little bit of time to gel for them.
So as we're at about 4 minutes to go, Jaron has been updating scores on the NETSN app. And so just as a reminder, the NETSN app, completely free. You want to follow scores. You want to get pick-ems. You want to see the polls that we have every week. You can get links to all the games, all the archive games. Make sure you're doing that. We have a lot of people tuning in tonight. We're up nearly to 1,000 streams in the first half, and so we're glad that people are checking us out. If you're joining us, make sure you get in the chat. We're going to try to make sure that we get a note of where everybody's from. I see I believe that's Marco Martinez Diaz from Monterrey, Mexico watching. So we've got people from Finland watching. We've got people from Mexico watching. We've got people from Nacogdoches, Texas, which might as well be Finland to some people. They're down there watching. Just kidding. I spent the best semester of my life at SFA. They asked me not to come back. True story. But anyway, so let's talk about this first half, Chad, because early on it did not look well, I don't want to say it looked bad, but it looked dangerous because Redwater took the ball straight down, 4 minutes. and capped it off with a 2-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Braylon Morgan, and then it's been all Brook Hill since. Zach Ryle with a 2-yard touchdown run. P.A. LaPointe with a 6-yard run, then a 3-yard run. Javier Gavito closes the half with a 37-yard field goal, and we sit at 25-8. What have you seen in the first half that you want to see improve here in this second half?
I want to make sure that we got to stay defensively. The defensive line, they did great keeping Morgan in the pocket, making him step up and not chasing him all over the field. I want to see them do that. Coach Collins is going to make they already made great adjustments, but that was on the fly, right?
Yeah.
So now they've got the halftime. I saw them down there a while ago. They were, they had their groups and they're talking. They're going to make great adjustments. Redwater's going to do the same thing. So they just want to see what I think Redwater's got to come back out and establish their run game again and do what they did their first drive.
And if they don't, then they're going to start slinging all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's where that defense can really build some momentum, because that Frisco Legacy game last year, guys, on the road in Frisco, it was a great football game. And it was a great football game even though we lost our first 2 quarterbacks in the first half. We played Wildcat offense for the conclusion of the first half with Braxton Durrett. Then we had the freshman Zach Rouse step in and play the second half. So next week is a big game, even though it really ultimately means nothing in the standings and for the playoffs. It's a big game you want to win, because like we talked about with Redwater losing to us last year and they want to get that revenge factor, we need that too from losing that game last year, a game that we should have won.
Well, and it's your first home game, and it's Warrior Bowl. It means a lot to our kids. It's going to be a packed house next Friday night at Harrington Stadium, and it's going to be a good one. But, hey, we still got a half of football left to play here.
Yeah, listen, a lot can happen. 17 points is not a huge lead, especially, the good news is we're going to get the ball first, right? Now, if you go down and punch one in, I think you eliminate a lot of the run game stuff for them, right? Now, I say that. They've been able to run it for 8 or 9 yards at a time at some points tonight, and so you got to fix that. But then I think you really do make them more one-dimensional, and the quarterback has the arm. We've seen him make a couple of throws that I think he can throw. They just haven't really challenged us on the outside. They had the tight end over the middle a minute ago that they had a chance to get, and they missed him. But this is, this is a huge drive coming out. Even though you're up 17, the chance to make it a 24-point game completely changes what Redwater can do on offense on
Absolutely.
the next drive.
If we go down and punch it in right here, it puts Redwater behind the 8 ball, and now they're scrambling, now they're chasing points, right? They're trying to get as many scores as fast as they can, so they're probably picking up the tempo.
So Daniel Yates is back deep to return this opening kickoff for the guard. Greg Lacasse-Grandin and Nico Metinen are on the second level back there at about the 25-yard line. We've mentioned Jaron Peoples and the work he's done for us tonight. What about our man Calvin with that camera work tonight? Mm-hmm. We've only had him in 14 different spots tonight filming the game, and the man has come through for us clutch here, and you're seeing this nice view as we get the kickoff that will bounce and be fielded. That is Lacasse-Grandin, and he comes to the outside, and he's going to have a chance to make a move, and he does across the 40, across the 45. And I'm not going to say they brought him down because they still have it, and he's out of bounds at the 46. Now, there is a flag down. It looks like it's flagged down late.
I'll tell you what I like right there. Grande, he had the opportunity about the 40 to step out of bounds. He stuck his foot in the ground and kept going, and he initiated contact. That tells me right there he's not afraid.
I'm going to tell you, Lacasse-Grandin, from what I saw on film before he got here and what I saw in the scrimmages, he is not going to avoid contact. He may go looking for it.
He did right there.
So let's see what this penalty is. There's a lot of talk here, and it came in late, and so you wonder if it's something extracurricular, maybe get a 15-yarder. Let's see what it is.
It's going to be on Redwater.
We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 25, Redwater.
Yeah, that's a 15-yarder.
First down, Brook Hill.
Again, where's Brook Hill starting?
Yeah, way inside that territory. They're going to be, up at about the 39-yard lines where they're going to spot it. And, man, just
that makes it hard on your defense.
The field position has been so great.
And it makes it hard on the defense. That short field, it's tough to play there all night.
So wing set to the near side here. As you can see, Ryle in the pistol formation, takes a snap, hands off to PA. LaPointe now still fighting through. And I'm just telling you, Brook Hill has been fortunate to have a lot of really good, talented running backs over the last decade or so. This guy he fits the mold.
He does. I mean, that's stereotypical Brook Hill running back, It reminds me of he's a cross between Barter, LaRocca, Durrett. I mean, that's pretty good company.
Tell you what, if you can mix those three guys up and make a running back, you'd be in good shape. Here we go now, 2nd down and 5 to go for the guard, and Ryle's going to drop back and look to pass. Has time. He's going to throw it deep, looking for a man. He's wide open and couldn't hold on to it. I believe
the defender fell down, it looked like.
Yeah, that's Hansen over there. He was trying to get it to. And I tell you what, Casper, a kid that just a sophomore, was struggling with some shin splint issues, Chad, in the scrimmages. We didn't see a lot of him. But, man, he has really been a huge part of this offense tonight.
Yeah, I think the coaches think a lot about him. I mean, he's a sophomore out there in the starting lineup. I mean, that says a lot.
Well, they thought enough of what he was going to be able to do tonight. They held him out last week when he was facing some of those issues here. So 3rd and 5, and Ryle now will look to convert on another 3rd down. Why not give it to LaPointe? And LaPointe makes a spin move and still on his feet. He's not going to gain much, maybe a yard. It's 4th and 4 at about the 32-yard line, and you're going to go for it here. It's probably a little too far to try to kick it, but I mean, we know what's coming here, right? It's going to be the freeze play more than likely.
Freeze, and they going to check it as he step back, quick kick it, try to pin them down inside the 10. I don't know.
No, I don't. They're not in the quick kick formation. Hansen in motion, and they're going to give it to LaPointe. LaPointe up the gut, and he's going to be stopped short. And look,
that's great defense. That's a great stop by their defense.
Yeah, Redwater doing exactly what they needed to do here on this first possession defensively, and it's a turnover on downs. And Redwater, down 17, gets the stop they need. So you mentioned it. We got to have to play. It's not over.
No, it's and I mean Redwater. They're fired up on their sideline right now. Coaches out there getting them going, and now they're looking to march down, see if they can't put 6 on the board.
And a big home crowd here for the Dragons.
Oh,
I mean, this is a great. Listen, there's nothing better than East Texas football on Friday nights. I mean, when you get these smaller towns, you get all these people together. It's what I love about Harrington Stadium when it's full on a Friday night. Same thing. It's just a whole different atmosphere, and we're seeing that tonight. So you mentioned the adjustments. This is what we're going to see now. What is Redwater going to go in and change at the half, and what does Coach Collins counter with on the defensive side? We're going to find out pretty quick, I would think. Is if you're Redwater, you maybe try to hit one early. I mean, I'm just thinking you don't try to settle in here down by 17. No. I think maybe you
got to go get it.
You dial something up here. Morgan, they're going to hand it off to Bailey, and that's been a good play for him tonight. And Bailey's going to gain about 9 yards.
I mean, why stop doing what's been your bread and butter all night?
Yeah, I mean, it's as good as a bubble pass or a screen or whatever to get 9. As we go under 10 minutes to play here. And we mentioned this in the first half, we've seen a lot of different guys playing on this defensive front, especially. The linebackers, secondary, not as much, but a lot of guys up front are rotating through, and I think it's made a huge difference in this one.
You keep everybody fresh going into the second half, and it makes a ton of difference.
So 2nd and a yard here, and Morgan's going to keep it. Come to the near side. He's going to have the first down and more. Breaking tackles.
I tell you
what, he's a big guy. You're going to have to.
He's a big kid.
You can't go at his feet here.
Cramping.
And a Dragon first down across midfield. They will get it to the 47-yard line here. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight as we work through some major issues to start the game. And we have really Jaron and Calvin done a great job of getting us back on air, and the camera work has been great here in this second period on. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. And Morgan will hand off to Bailey once again. Yeah, Bailey, man, what a great night so far for the junior Cooper Bailey. 5'9", 175-pound back, and he runs like he might be 220.
He's a good back.
And you know what? You can't see it on camera there. He just took his gloves off, threw them to the sideline. Those gloves, guys, they are not beneficial to you when the ground is wet and nasty. They actually hurt you. So 2nd and a long 5 here. And Morgan's going to go back under center in that I formation.
Yeah, false start on tight end.
False start penalty there.
Tight end and tackle we're pulling right there. We're fixing to run counter left. And tight end got a little quick start.
But that's kind of the pressure this defense puts on you because of the way that they play and because of the hard slanting you get, and you don't know which side they're coming from. You almost need that head start because if the defense catches you the right way, there's really not a lot you can do about it. So it'll be back to 2nd and 10 now. Just over 8 minutes to play here. Once again, if you are watching the game, want to make sure you're in the chat. Head of school Braxton Brady watching the game. He's in Atlanta tonight as his son Bennett and the Tennessee Volunteers are in Atlanta to take on the Syracuse Orange tomorrow. 2nd and 10 now. Morgan hands off that's Witt this time, I believe. Miller Witt, the junior fullback. And he gains a couple of yards. So big, 3rd down and 8.
Big for the guard defense right here.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with house money at this point, right? You've played such good defense here, and you've been able to capitalize on great field position. And having a 17-point lead at this point, because guess what? They're running the football, and the clock's still running. And that's good news for the guard. Morgan looked like he might have had a false start there. And he gets the pressure. He's going to get away and not from the second one.
Do not jump that.
Yeah, Eli Hall with a big hit to bring him down finally. And Eli Hall comes away with the football. I think they're going to say he was down. But listen, that is why you do not leave your feet if you're the ball carrier.
You got to keep your feet on the ground on stuff like that because you jump and you are just free for somebody to take a good shot at you.
And Eli Hall, the senior, did a great job there, and it's now 4th down and about 12 here. And Redwater's going to bring out the punt team. But I tell you what, Chad, we're getting in that point where you got to start thinking maybe they try to do something funky here.
They've got to do something to swing the momentum. And they thought they had it there just a few minutes ago, but stalled out.
A lot more of a spread punt look, by the way. They get it away just barely, and Wisner's back deep, and the punt is going to be short, but it's going to take a good dragging bounce.
Inside the 10.
Yeah, just inside the 10-yard line, and that's where the guard will take over 1st and 10. And look, here's the thing, Chad. Take 6-7 minutes off the clock here. Points or not, just take the time off the clock.
Yeah, run the football, get it down, get it inside the 4th quarter, and now you've got all the pressure on Redwater.
We got Nashville, Arkansas in the house tonight. We got everybody, Chad.
We need to put a map up and bring with us and
we're getting.
Put pins where everybody we're getting views from.
Man. I'm not good with geography, Chad. I'm going to be honest. We're going to have to hire somebody.
I'll do it.
Okay, all right, babe, whatever you say. 1st and 10 for the guard here, 6:21 to play, and it's Ryle once again who takes a snap and hands off to LaPointe, and he's got a spot to run, and he gains up to about the 25-yard line, and a flag comes in late.
Mask. They tackled him by the helmet.
Well, I got to be honest, they haven't been able to tackle him many other ways. Might as well try that one.
We'll add 15 to that, and it's God. Hey, LaPointe is going to be fun to watch this year, Coach.
And here's the thing. As you mentioned at the half with Coach Dawkins, this is a team that's 3 weeks together.
Right.
4 weeks together. I mean, by the time – and here's the thing, that district schedule, we talked about it early on, Chad. You get 2 games, then you get a week off, then you go to Carlisle, and then that district – and it's the most important 3 games to start with, Regents, Hyde Park, Grace. And you got to win at least 2 of them. You win 3 of them, you're going to be the number 1 seed.
Right. It's huge. This preseason, you're using those to gel, to get better. Yeah, you want to win those ball games, of course, but you want to be running on all cylinders when you hit your first game in district.
And let's be honest, from the first scrimmage against Rusk a couple weeks ago till tonight, we've already seen significant improvement on this offense, no doubt.
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 now at the 39-yard line after the penalty, and Riles looking to pass again, looking to go deep. He's got Yates. Can Yates get there? And he cannot. It's incomplete. That was a good try at it for sure.
Good try, great ball.
And I feel like a lot of contact over there. Now, it's on the opposite side of the field from us. I don't claim that I can see it better than those guys, but it looked like a lot. And the funny thing is, Chad, when we brought Yates in, we've thrown the deep ball to him.
Every time.
And it's still out there. So 2nd and 10 now. Wisner back in at receiver on that far side. That's Witten that goes in motion as Ryle's going to hand it off to LaPointe. And there goes PA. They may not catch him. PA all the way, 62 yards. Guard, touchdown.
Well, the offensive line gave him a hole, and he hit it, and he didn't slow down.
LaPointe can absolutely go, Chad. He can go.
Just like I said before that play, he's going to be fun to watch.
And that's his 3rd touchdown of the night. And I don't know what service you subscribe to or what other websites you visit, but if he's not in the conversation for Player of the Week in Week 1,
absolutely.
I don't know how he's not. He's had 3 touchdowns and just been such a huge part of this offense now, as it's a 31-8 lead. Is now we're going to get Gavito in to chat to extend this lead with the point after. And he absolutely drills it. And it's 32-8. The PAT from Gavito is good. 5:47 to play in the 3rd. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
I guess it helps when you put your microphone in front of your face, Jaron. I was out there. Hey, real quick, want to shout out a couple people tonight. As we mentioned Jaron, we mentioned Calvin, who got us out there. Our man Sean Rhodes. Sean is sitting at home and watching the game right now, but we were here, and one of the things, I guess maybe you don't know this, is when you're on the road and the other PA announcer comes in and says, hey, can you help me pronounce names? I got to be honest, I was lost. I knew one name to call, one person, that's Sean Rhodes, and Sean stopped in what he was doing. Sean's a busy guy and was able to help us out, pronounce a bunch of names, and corrected us, Chad, because we've been butchering it the last 2 weeks. But we are here and ready to go after that touchdown. 32-8, Brook Hill on top. And Gavito set to kick it off. Another low kick, and it's going to be fielded this time. That's number 6.
Yeah, 6.
That is Caden Johnson, excuse me. And if I'm not mistaken, Caden may have played last night in the JV game. I'm not sure. I know there was a Johnson that played quarterback for them last night. Maybe it wasn't. Either way, that's a new name for us here tonight. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at the 24-yard line.
The Dragons got to start putting the ball in the air. They're down. And they've got to start dinking and dunking. They got to go downfield. They've got to catch yardage as fast as they can.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot right here. Down 24 is a team that likes to run the football the way that they do. They're going to have to find new ways to get it down the field. 1st and 10 here for the Dragons, and Morgan's in the pistol formation. Takes a snap, looking to pass. There it is, and it is caught. That's Wheat. They were talking about Wheat before the game, and he makes a move, and he's up across the 45. Guy Wheat, the senior receiver, on the catch up to the 46-yard line.
Got a couple cramps going on out there. It's that time of year. It's cooler tonight than normal. Probably not drinking as much water as they should be. But that's what you see week 1.
Yeah, we were talking on the way up here tonight, Chad, that a lot of times what you get in week 1 or week 2 is the officials maybe call some extra timeouts for kids because they're maybe fighting the heat. It is cooler tonight, and we expected it to honestly be a lot cooler.
Right.
And it just, as a matter of fact, when Coach Dawkins came up, he had a jacket on. He goes, I thought it was supposed to be cooler. And I was like, I did too, Coach. It's not. But that is playing a factor tonight. And not just the players. You see the officials getting a little water here because guess what? It's hot for them too.
Yeah. And they're running up and down the field just as much as Maybe not as fast, but they are running. They're doing more than we are.
Yeah, I tell you what, the AC feels good up here. But it's warm enough even in the box. You took your jacket off. Chad's always cold. So after the timeout, it is 1st and 10 here for the Dragons. After that completion over there to number 4, Guy Wheat. And Morgan now gives the handoff to Bailey. And Bailey this time brought down that Schluter in on the stop, as well as number 28, Hayden Watson. And good to see Hayden back, getting to play a lot of defense here because he's really battled some injuries over the last couple of years.
Great kid. You just the past couple of years, just seen him go down injury after injury, and now to see him out there tonight, captain, voted on by his teammates, that means a lot. That says a lot about him as a young man and as a leader for this squad.
And I know it's been tough, right? When you're a kid who puts so much time into it, and you work in the off season, and then you get to when the game starts, and you're just battling injuries. I know that's tough.
Yeah.
2nd and 6 now, and split backs for the Dragons. And Morgan is going to fake the handoff, pass on the slant route over the middle, and it is going to be caught for a first down. As that time it was that was Guy Wheat again. So Wheat now, we haven't really called his name much in the first half, and now on this drive he's been a big part of it.
Yeah, quick game, what they're doing right now. They're just trying to go. I'm surprised they're not tempoing it right now, actually. I mean, a lot of times running off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it. You're 3 scores down, right? I mean, you're 3-possession game, and so you'd think of maybe a little more tempo here, but you also don't want to get reckless with it, right? I mean, down by 24, you get reckless, it ends up being 30, so you got to make sure that you're on that fine line there.
Yeah, they're thinking they've got one more quarter. We're fine.
Morgan hands off to Bailey, and Bailey stopped at the line of scrimmage, and good job there defensively.
That defensive line doing what they're supposed to do.
See number 8 in there. That's Greg Lacasse Grandin. Number 20, Edward Park in there. And it's been nice to see so many different guys do their job on defense tonight.
Yeah, that rotation, again, it keeps everybody fresh, right?
And the clock is, man, I really wasn't paying that much attention to it, Chad, but a lot of time off the clock here. Second and 10. And Morgan going to give it to Bailey, and
ball's on the ground.
The ball's out, and you can see the coach over there. That's Brook Hill football. Let's see.
We'll scrum.
We'll see.
Brook Hill thinks they've got it.
The players they're doing their job to sell it, and even the Redwater players are saying,
"Yep,
it's going that
Brook
way."
Hill football.
And there it is. Brook Hill comes away with the football. And I'm not sure who came away with it there. I didn't see. But I tell you what, when you have the big guys that time Rouleau and Bruno were both down there on that defensive line, and there's a loose ball, they're going to come away with it.
Yeah, I mean, try to wrestle away from those boys like trying to wrestle a sandwich away.
Yeah, I'm not going to wrestle those guys over a sandwich, I can assure you. Good guys. I had a chance to visit with some of them yesterday. Really enjoyed the fact that they watched the broadcast. And even Ezra Guba gave me a hard time yesterday because I called him Larry, and I'm like, well, you guys look the same and wearing the same number in the scrimmages. First down, and the handoff this time goes to number 5. That's Michael Reeves getting the carry here. Now Reeves, the senior, and good chance for him to get to showcase what he can do here late in this game. Yeah, we know what PA can do, by the way. But you want to find that second guy.
You got to have a second guy. I mean, because you want to give PA some breathing time. I mean, he's got to have. Yeah, you want it. He wants the rock as much as you give it to him, but.
Yeah, I bet he would take it right now if they let him.
Exactly. But we got to get somebody. We got to get Michael work also.
Going to be a handoff again to Reeves. I think this is about 3 on the play. It'll bring up third down and about 7 for the guard. Grant Gandy, another guy that will eventually get some of those carries. He's been out a little banged up here to start the year. And when they get
old Galloping Gandy, get him in there, it'll be.
Yeah, you'll see Hayden Watson in there at some point, I'm sure. I mean, maybe they're going to let him just play defense, right? And especially until we're a little further along. Oh, they got him false. That's going to be
us.
I don't know, man.
Can you draw?
You can draw. If they make that move across, that's got to be on the defense. And that's actually smart by that offensive line to do that. Emily Turkinen over there.
Good to see him out there.
Man, you talk about a kid that faced a tough injury last year. They're going to
mark it off on us.
They're going to mark it off. They're going to say it's a false start. That's interesting. I felt like the guy jumped across and made that move toward the line of scrimmage.
Coach Ryle's not happy about it.
No, it's going to be 3rd and 12. I think the official said 2nd down, but it is 3rd down and 12 here. Under 2 minutes to play, though. Honestly, Chad, you just let the clock run. I mean, obviously you want to keep the ball, and you'd like to go put points on the board, especially you got some new guys out there you're trying to work in. I see Hargett at receiver, Reeves in there at tailback. Ryle comes to the near side, got some pressure, gets the ball away, incomplete, trying to get it to Schluter, just short. And you mentioned earlier trying to go left and throw right-handed. That's a tough throw for Ryle.
Yeah, quarterback on quarterback right there. That pressure came from Morgan. And helped Zach up off the ground, but got some pressure on him and brings out the punt team.
So 4th and 12 now here. And the punter, I think that's Hanson again. Hanson does it all, Chad.
Is that?
That's number 4. That's Casper Hanson there to punt him, it looks like. And just a sophomore. Oh, that's not Hanson. That's 11. That's Nico Metnin.
Ooh, ball on the ground.
Ball is
Boy,
loose.
that was
yeah. That's
smart for number 5 to get on it.
That's J.J. Vaughn able to get back on top of it.
He wanted to return it, but it just bounced and hit him right in the face mask, and he had to jump on it real quick.
It's what we said at the half, Chad. You get in a spot to where when you're down by 24, as the clock continues to run, you don't get reckless on purpose, but you just feel that pressure to do more, and that's kind of what you see there.
Yeah, high school kids do it all the time. They put so much pressure on themselves, and, hey, it's not what you want them to do. Hey, one thing, be thankful for being able to be part of this team of NETSN. That's what they're doing. They're doing it for the kids, right?
Absolutely.
That's why we're here.
So Redwater's going to take over again. They're going to have the ball at their own 38-yard line here. Once again, just now over 1,000 views. We want to thank everybody who's watched tonight, checking us out here on YouTube, and go back and I know there'll be a lot of players go back and watch this game later. Hopefully they'll just fast forward to the first quarter and a half, and they'll be happy after that. As the pass over there, and it looked like they might be setting up a little double pass there.
I thought the same thing.
As they got to William Strutoff there, who, by the way, he's listed as a quarterback. So, Coach Rowell and staff doesn't have the roster on there with him. But when you have a second quarterback who's over there and you're throwing him the little fast screen, you got to be – that's a setup, Chad. I'm telling you, we're gonna see that.
The way it developed, it's when both of us were thinking the same thing. The slow developing in it because they'll run that here in just a few minutes, and they'll have to send somebody right down the side.
I got to be honest, if they don't go back to it, I feel like that's a lost opportunity for them. 2nd and 5 now, the handoff to Bailey up the middle, and a good hard run there before Watson and Sarah Javi can bring him down. But it's good enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 at midfield.
Well, he has been pounding it tonight. He's tired, but Bailey, boy, he's a hard runner.
Yeah,
we've seen 2 good running backs here tonight.
Super impressed with Bailey especially. And listen, you got a lot of these guys for Redwater playing both ways, and that's the one benefit. We haven't talked about it a lot tonight, but Brook Hill, a lot of guys only have to play one way, and Redwater got some guys that are going both sides.
Counted earlier during pregame, Redwater's got 30 kids, so you're going to have quite a few going both ways. I mean, the quarterback's going both ways.
Yeah, 1st and 10. And the fake pitch and the handoff coming back the other way. And they get it that time. That's number 6. That's Caden Johnson. And Johnson picks up another Redwater first down. 1st and 10 at the Brook Hill 38. Now you're starting to see some signs of life as the clock now at 33.6 seconds to play here. And all right, now they got to go.
Yeah,
like this is time you got to be moving.
They've got to start picking up the tempo. They got 33 seconds left. Can't do anything, detrimental to them, but they've got to keep rolling high tempo running into the fourth quarter.
So could potentially be the last play here if they run it. If they throw it, we'll probably get a couple more plays. But 1st and 10 at the 38. And they're going to fake the handoff. It's going to be Morgan and keep himself to the near side. Watson can't bring him down, and he slips down at the 35, excuse me. They're going to mark him. Let's see where they mark him at. It looked like he just tried to make a cut and couldn't. Yeah, they're going to.
And that's a timeout. Does he have to come out for a play?
If
they said injury timeout.
Yeah, there's going to be a difference there, right? If Redwater calls a timeout.
Levin's going to quarterback. So that's
a strut off again that we saw a minute ago.
They threw the pass out there too that we were talking about for the double pass. He's just going to go in.
Count when you get a lot of when you get as many changes, you start counting. Do they have the right amount on the field? They got 12, they got 10, they do have 11. It's a risky thing here. It's a clock at 26 seconds. And you see Bailey in at fullback now, and they give it this time to Johnson, and Johnson's going to pick up quite a few yards here. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3 here for the Dragons. And we'll see, are they going to let it run? Looks like they're going to let the time run out. They have the quarter if they want it. And they're going to let the time run out here in this 3rd quarter. We have played 3 quarters here in Redwater. Week 1 is 3 quarters of the way done, and the Guard lead the Dragons 32-8. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance. That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
Back here in Redwater, 12 minutes to play, and the Guard trying to go to 1-0 again this year to start 2025 on the road. And I got to be honest, it's a tough environment to come in and play. It is loud here. The band does a great job. Full house of in the bleachers for Redwater, and really slow, shaky start, but it didn't last long.
Right. They were able to shake off those nerves and settle in.
So 3rd and about 3 here for the Dragons to start play in the 4th quarter. Morgan with split backs, hands off to Bailey, and Bailey off the right side is going to be really close.
It's short.
Yeah, I think he's short too. Let's see where that side judge has him. And let's see.
Defense bounced him, and he wanted to cut up sooner, but he wasn't able to. It is 4th down.
Yeah, they're going to say he is just short. I mean,
they're going for it. Got to.
Yeah, you have to here. And this is the advantage of this Brook Hill defense is now you got Luke Scott, Sidney Rouleau, and I think that's 73. I think that's Bruno over on that other end. I can't really tell from here. No, that's 77. That's Larry. We hadn't seen him much on defense tonight. And I think he may have got it on the second effort. Let's see.
I don't know.
It's close.
It's going to be close.
It's funny because
if they go with the far linesman.
Yeah, the guy on the Brook Hill side, it's short. The guy on the Redwater side, he's got it. And I got to be honest, I'm not real sure how you go with the guy on this sideline.
How is he? Never mind.
I know we haven't said it all night. They're looking at it. Waiting for the wide hat to make a signal here. Are we going to say it's first down or?
I don't understand why we're spotting it on the opposite side when it was to the right.
Well, this is what happens. You got one official who thinks that he
saw
had the
it
best
better.
look at it,
Right.
and he's literally the furthest guy from the spot. Once again, thanks everybody for watching tonight as we are just about 11 minutes to go here in week 1. Still more games tomorrow. Jaron is with us still. Jaron, I think there's a couple NETSN games tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we got one. I'll be doing Big Sandy in Winona at what they call the Redwater Classic there at Jack Murphy Stadium at 6 o'clock.
You know, and that's something that they used to do. One of the first games I ever broadcast was Westwood and Diboll in that Redwater Classic. Gosh, probably 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
That makes me feel old, but seriously, and that's something that went away for a little while. Now I'm glad they're doing that and they got it back.
Yeah, so actually the Elysian Fields Tenaha game, which Elysian Fields won that game 41-0 in Coach Main's debut as the Jackets coach, and that's part of the Redwater Classic as well there at Jack Murphy.
And Gladewater with a big win last night. I'm assuming it was part of that as well, right? Or were they on the road last night?
I believe they were on the road in Dangerfield.
It's kind of crazy to have your own classic and you don't even get to play in it. That's
I'll have to confirm that.
Yeah, check that out. It is a first down after the measurement for the Dragons, and they will have it 1st and 10 at about the 28-yard line. And Morgan looking to pass. He dropped a football and tried to pick it up and is ended up getting sacked back there in the backfield.
There's a ton of them back there.
Yeah, Brantley Bruno, all three defensive linemen. Luke Scott, Sidney Rouleau, Brantley Bruno in there. Saw Jonas Sarahavi in there as well. There's a whole bunch of them that got back there.
Yeah, so it was in Dangerfield. And I remember this last year. Gladewater doesn't play in the Gladewater Classic. It was the same thing last year.
To quote a classic movie, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Is that a classic movie? I don't know. 2nd and about 19 here. It looks like it could be close to 20. I will not be upset to be back in the high press box at Harrington next week because I'm having a hard time seeing yard markers from here. Morgan looking to pass once again, going to the left side, and he has it completed to J.J. Vaughn.
That out route tonight has been we just haven't been able to cover it. We're all right, giving up yardage on it, but that's something I guarantee you Coach Jordan will be working on next week is that out route because, hey, it's going to be on film, and Frisco Legacy is going to have that film too.
I know he's going to watch this, so shout out to my man Ezra Guba. No, it's not Ezra. Sorry, that's Larry in there. Sorry, Ezra. Ezra's going to be really mad at me now because I just called Larry. I called Ezra Larry and Larry Ezra. He's going to be so mad at me. But look at that defensive line. Sidney Rouleau, Larry DeSayou, and Brantley Bruno. That is good luck running there. 3rd and 13. And here comes the pressure. Like I say, Grondin is going to bring him down.
Change him down for the backside.
He gets some help there finally to bring him down. But Akase Grondin with a nice job there to bring him down. Let's see who finished him off. I'm trying to think that was Jonas Sarahavi again. And looks like we may have a timeout on the field. Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout with them here on NETSN.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance. That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
This is where legends rise and moments are made.
They're still on his feet. Come on, let's go, still on his feet.
From the buzzer beaters to the game winners, we bring you the action. Raw, real, relentless. We cover every angle, every story. From the streets to the stadiums,
He's going all the way.
your favorite athletes, your teams,
Ford breaks the tackle. Oh my gosh.
your passion, all in one place. New games, live shows.
Here he goes. He's got some blockers.
This is the future of sports media.
There he goes. Quick up into the secondary.
This isn't just a network. This is a movement.
Ooh, oh, he ran over the filter.
Welcome to NETSN Game On.
Okay, back here after the timeout, and we are
They've got an injury timeout. Now they're taking a timeout.
now they're going to take another timeout. So let's keep it here. Chad, you have been telling me this all day long. Well, not all day long, since we got together about 3 o'clock. You said you had a trivia question. You said a guy in the stands had a shirt on that reminds you of the trivia question, so fire away.
What East Texas high school football coach got his first head coaching baseball job in 1990 in Redwater, Texas?
Well, so we're talking about a guy. I'm just going to process of elimination here while we got time. Got to be a guy that's famous enough for us to know this, right? So that takes a few guys out. No offense. I know some guys who live in this or from this area that you know, so I'm going to go with Surratt.
Scott Surratt.
Yeah, that was kind of easy, Jaron. He thought he was going to get me, but
I did think I'd get you. First job, Redwater, Texas.
By the way, the guy that walked in wearing the sweatshirt that you pointed out, pretty sweet sweatshirt from the 90s.
Yeah.
He's been holding on to that one for a while.
Speaking of Surratt, Carthage leads Kilgore 14-10 with 8:56 left in the ball game.
And it was 7-0 Kilgore right at the half. Is that what you told me?
Yeah. Well, 7-7 at the half.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was 7-0 Kilgore earlier. So here's the thing. I think the conversation, Chad, here is Redwater thought they could buy Morgan back in by calling a timeout, and the White Hats telling them they can't.
Yeah, and that's going to make it tough for Struthoff. I mean, he's going to have to go in. They're third and long, needing to pick up a first. I mean, yeah, it's 4-down territory, 4-down of the ball game. But to have to possibly throw right here and hadn't have thrown a pass all night, that's a tough situation.
I mean, honestly, at this point, give it to Bailey and then get your quarterback back in next play potentially. So we'll see what they do here on 3rd and 10.
Bad snap.
A bad snap, and that nothing Struthoff can do there. Now he looks to throw it deep. He's got a guy, and it is picked off. Blake Witten. Well, that's how you put the nail in the coffin.
That's it. I mean, that's a ton of pressure on that kid right there. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Struthoff doing all he can do there, right?
He's just trying to make a play.
It's a bad snap. He knows he has to make a play.
He's trying to keep his team alive, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, no. I'm not sure what else Struthoff could have done there at all.
Hey, great play by Witten.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he fought that receiver off and took it away from him. And
a bigger receiver. I mean, he had to make a play there, and he did, absolutely. So this offense now, 1st and 10 with 9 minutes to go.
I'm guessing we're fixing to keep it on the ground.
Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of I think that's Hayden Watson there, running back now. We talked about that earlier. Hargett goes in motion on the jet sweep. Yeah, give it to that guy because he can fly. And there goes Hargett. I don't think they're going to catch him, Chad.
It's going to be close.
Nope, they're not. Struthoff got it. Okay, just inside the 10, Struthoff makes the tackle. Brig Hargett, boys, can run.
He's a little faster than his brother.
Yeah, he's faster than his brother. Brother may have the best slider of the bunch, I guess, but he can definitely run. Great. I guess we're going to find out if Grayson's listening, by the way, because he's going to text me and say he's not faster. That's what he would say. So 1st and goal.
Love to see that for Brig right there.
Absolutely. Rowell looking to pass. Slant route, and that's Hargett. Couldn't hold on to it.
Trying to get it to him, trying to get him in the end zone.
Oh, that's not Hargett. Excuse me. That's number 80. That's Zach Hempel. I guess Hargett deserves a playoff after the 80-yard run, I guess. We'll let him. We'll let you take a break, Brig. But I bet he'd like to be back in there. He'd want to score.
Yeah.
So 2nd and goal now from the 6. 32-8. Big 24-point lead for the Guard. It was 8-0 Redwater. It's been 32 unanswered for the Guard. There goes Hargett in motion again. They're going to hand it off to Watson. And Watson is going to power
Called him
to
down
the goal
short.
line. They're going to say he's down just short. And so just shy of the goal line there. I want to make sure, is that may have been Andreas Mendizabal, actually, 23.
Well, these orange numbers on these white jerseys.
We're going to have a conversation with Coach Ryle about this.
I know what he's going to tell us.
Yeah, he's going to tell me. Too bad. Ryle
some
takes snap,
binoculars.
hands off to the tailback that time, and he's going to be in. I did
Touchdown.
not see who that is.
I think it's
Let's
Mike
see.
Reeves.
I hope it is. I hope that's Mike Reeves. Let's see who it is.
Got a bad Redwater injury on the field.
That's Michael.
Was it Mike
Mike
Reeves on the touchdown for the Guard. So, what was he? A yard out there. Reeves with a touchdown and a timeout on the field, and we're going to take it with him. We'll be right back. So back here in Redwater after the 1-yard touchdown run by Michael Reeves. And it's going to be Gavito comes in to attempt the point after for the Guard, 7:38 to play. And a chance to make it a 39-8 lead and 39 straight points potentially for the Guard. You couldn't have asked much better offensively. I mean, really just that first drive, Chad, that's it.
I think that's the only, if you're looking at and going back tomorrow on film, they'll spend more time in that first drive teaching.
Yeah.
Than the rest of the film.
The Gavito PAT is good. It's 39-8. Brook Hill on top. We'll take another timeout. We'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance.
That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
Back here in Redwater, Jeremy Hubbard, Chad Grubbs, Jaron Peoples in the booth with us. He's been in and out and doing a lot of work today. Calvin Henson, our cameraman tonight.
MVP of the night, Calvin.
I'm going to go Calvin MVP. Jaron was the early front runner, but
he's got a hard camera angle to work with now.
Yes,
yeah,
he does.
Absolutely. Gavito's kickoff is fielded just at the goal line. And good return here for the Dragons is on the return that time was number 25, Jacob Hoffmeister.
You're trying to give them a little spark. They're going to have to get after it and get some tempo going right here. Well, let me tell you, Morgan, Coach, he's a ball player. He's good.
Super impressed.
Yeah.
And I think this Redwater team, I think the coach staff will tell you, for them to have success the rest of the year, they're going to need him to be the guy. They're going to need him to do some things for them. A couple of new faces out there. Cade Reed on the defensive line. Also Reese Barter in there, I see. Handoff to Bailey, and Bailey on that right side has some room and tripped up there at the 35-yard line. I think it might have been the turf that got him, but
he tried to cut and get upfield, and that Bailey's feet just left him.
Credit for the tackle can go to Zach Hempel and Hayden Watson, though. Trying to see Zach Hempel in there. I see Larson Morris in there at linebacker. Brig Hargett playing a little secondary. Good for those guys to get in here and get a little varsity action here at the end of this one. Andy Witten had a great JV game last night. He's in there at outside linebacker. The handoff to Bailey comes to the near side, and a great block there by the Dragons. And finally a tackle there by Nico Mettinen of Bailey. And if Mettinen didn't make that tackle, Bailey's in the end zone.
Yeah.
No, Chad, you mentioned, but Morgan and Bailey both, these two guys have been really good tonight.
They're the cowbells for the Redwater Dragons this year. They get a passing attack going with that. They'll be able to do some things. I mean, they're in a tough district, though, man.
1st and 10 for the Dragons. We'll go over that in just a second because I think it is worth noting. And Morgan had a little trouble with a snap, and he's going to be brought down. He's going to get a couple yards out of the deal, but man, Larry Desayou in there on the stop.
Dave Campbell's District 10 3A Division II that Redwater's in, they've got them ranked 5th. I mean, up here, this is my old district that I used to play in high school. Dangerfield, DeKalb, Hooks, New Boston, Redwater, Hugh Springs, Queen City.
DeKalb's in this district. That's a team I saw in the playoffs last year. That's a good football team.
Yeah.
So 2nd down and about 6 here for the Dragons. And they're still playing hard, man. That's the handoff this time goes to Miller Witt, and he gains a couple of yards, maybe make it 3rd and about 4. No, you're right, man. This is a team that if they can get a couple of those things figured out, and to be fair to them, this Brook Hill team is playing pretty well. It's not like this is against a team that's not going to be a good football team. Brook Hill is honestly peaking. I don't know if they've really peaked or not, but they are playing better. They are playing better right now than I probably expected them to, considering they've been together for 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. 3rd down and about 5 here for the Dragons. Clock under 5 minutes to play now, and Morgan will hand off to Bailey again. Why not? And he's up the middle again and breaking more tackles. One man to beat, and he's going to get tripped up. And that's a great job there by Miguel Alatriste to trip him up there and keep him from getting into the end zone. As the ball down to the 6-yard line now. And here's the thing. I appreciate the fact the score's 39-8, and Coach Collins and that staff are getting these young guys in there because they need to see this game speed.
Absolutely.
Thursday night, Friday night, completely different atmosphere, different speeds.
It's 2 different speeds. Yes, I mean, you can't coach speed, and in practice and in JV games, you can't emulate what's happening on Friday nights.
So 1st and goal from the 6. And Morgan had a hard time with the snap again, and that might have been a blessing for him because the offense was going one way and he goes the other, and Morgan into the end zone for a touchdown. So good for Braylon Morgan. He's had a great night, and he gets in the end zone. It's now 39-14. So they will. Looks like they're ready to kick it here. They do have a kicker.
But he don't have his tee. Coach is trying to get him.
Yeah, they're going to. They haven't even started the play clock yet. He's got plenty of time, but now he got to run. So Kevin Cerna, the kicker, is going to have to run about 60 yards, get set up, and kick the extra point. Come on now. That's not fair for this guy. Let him. Let's see. Play clock down to 10. He's going to have time. I got faith in him. This is actually good practice for you. You may have to do this down the road. Cerna's PAT.
It hit somebody.
Yeah, I don't think it was blocked. That's a deflection. And the score. Oh, we got a flag? No, we got 2 flags here apparently. We'll see what they say here. Both teams are coming off, so that doesn't look like it's going to be. Oh, now, what do we got here? Everybody's confused. And I don't know, Chad.
Sounds like reminds me of when we were on the sidelines of JV ball games.
This just, I got to be honest, these last 2 minutes has been very JV-ish in terms of what is going on out here. Hank Stram had a classic line I'm not going to quote, but.
One during the play, which is offsides against the defense. After the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct, 50 on the offense. Both will be accepted. We'll replay the day.
Okay, so we got an offsides penalty, and then against Brook Hill, and we got a personal foul against Redwater after the play, and so we're going to start over. We're going to do it again. But they're going to have to back it up, right? The offsides is 5, the personal foul is 10.
Sure, they're not kicking it. They're bringing the offense back out. Morgan's.
Yeah, in all fairness, my man Kevin Serna is tired. He had to sprint 30 yards to get the tee, 60 yards back to set it up. I mean, I don't blame him. If I'm Serna, I'm saying, look, I want this kicking job, but you got to help me out a little bit here. And on the other side, Serna, just keep that tee a little closer to you, man. Don't do that. All right, so
if
here we
you're
go.
just the kicker, keep it in your helmet or keep it in your hand.
Yeah, belt loop of your pants or something. Here we go now. 39-14, 2-point try for Redwater. Morgan looking to pass, then it'll lob it up here. And it is going to be tipped away and complete. And it's 39-14. Brook Hill on top. 4:21 to play. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to be right back.
Flag on the play.
Oh, we're going to stay here. Another flag. Sorry. That's production on the fly, Jaron.
Mm-hmm.
What's the flag now?
I think it's personal foul on Redwater.
I will say this, given our 7:30 kickoff time, it's only 10:05 and this game's almost over. Like, that's – figured it'd be a little later than that, if I'm being honest.
I'm not complaining.
Could be in Carlisle where they had a transformer blow. What's our situation there in that one?
They're in the 4th, and they're tied up 24-24. It's a good ball game over there.
So they lost a transformer. Had to have – I guess it was at halftime, though. So I guess that doesn't slow the game down much.
Yeah, and it was in Mount Enterprise. I thought it was Carlisle, but it was in Mount Enterprise.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Brook Hill. 15 yards on the kickoff.
All right, so the try is no good. It's still going to be 39-14, and an unsportsmanlike penalty against Brook Hill. And we'll go ahead and keep it here. Let's go ahead and talk about next week, Chad, because Frisco Legacy comes to town. TAP's 6A team, and this is Brook Hill and Legacy have been in some big battles really over the last few years. A couple of playoff games. Okay, so they do have to report that now because 2 of those can get you ejected. That's
Beckett Lumley.
That Beckett Lumley. Okay, well, you know what, Beckett? Make it memorable when you're in there, man. I'm with you, I guess. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anything, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But it should be good. I think it'll be a good football game next week.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Frisco Legacy has in store. You know, we'll see that film starting tomorrow. Haven't seen much on them yet, but I know the coaches, kids, they'll be looking to rebound from that crazy game last year.
They did defeat Sisterian 35-6. That game went final.
Yeah, all right, that's about what I would have expected. You know, Legacy, by the way, unless they lost a lot or a lot changed, they were huge last year. I mean, they were a big football team. I remember, they had defensive linemen that I was thinking, like, where are they playing tomorrow in the college game? And by the way, we haven't talked about this. How about college football season? Off to a great start, and tomorrow we get a couple of just slobber knockers right off the bat with Texas and Ohio State. I got to admit, even as a Longhorn fan, I'm not feeling very confident going to the Horseshoe tomorrow.
It'll be fun.
Cerner with the onside kick attempt. Larson Morris with a return.
Oh, hands team.
Yeah, Larson.
No, it wasn't Hans team. It was just a regular kickoff.
That's what I when I think Larson Morris, I think Hans team. That's what I think.
Good job by Larson
Yep.
getting on the ball. No, hey, next week's going to be fun. Warrior Bowl, riled up tailgate. That's something that Wally Dawkins started at Brook Hill. And, people talk about tailgate. We saw some tonight, and we're like,
yeah, that was more like a
hangout,
a small gathering, compared to what a tailgate you're going to see next week. And I'm excited. It's been over a decade. I haven't been going a decade, but I've never gotten to just go experience a Brook Hill tailgate. I'm excited about that next week, and we're excited to bring the Warrior Bowl to you. We'll have all the pregame festivities for you as well on the broadcast. New quarterback in the game now. That's Braxton Pike, and had a little trouble with his snap there, and he's brought down in the backfield. And Pike had a really good, so people are watching like, well, how's he getting to play both games? Taps has a 6-quarter rule. He can play 4 games in the JV, or 4 quarters in the JV game and 2 in the varsity game. Pike had a really good game last night in the JV game, I thought. Big JV win for Brook Hill last night, 38-26, I believe is what it was. But Pike played really well.
It's huge for development that, I really wish UIL would adopt it for smaller schools like Redwater or Troop, Give your younger guys the opportunity to play on Thursday nights, get that experience they need playing, but then if their opportunity comes up like this on a Friday night, let them get in.
I see Liam Zanamanegi in there, also Jet Body in at receiver for the guard. And the handoff there, we're going to get another late flag. It's okay, let's get the clock running. On the carry that time was Andres Mendizabal. Another sophomore. And we got flags. Let's see who they're against. This is still waiting on our buddy the white hat here.
We have a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Redwater number 50. That's his second unsportsmanlike, and he's disqualified from the game. You gotta be disciplined.
And he's out for next week, first half, right?
Yeah. That's Los Angeles, who's their leading tackler from last year, I believe is what we were told. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And you hate to see that, man.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the score, this game has been competitive. It's not like Redwater's played really well. They honestly have so many guys going both ways. It's kind of hurt them here in the second half trying to come back in this one.
And I think that's where you see the difference in this game.
Absolutely.
Brook Hill was able to stay fresh, rotate guys in and out, especially on the offensive and defensive lines. Hey, skill guys too. Redwater didn't. They can't do that. So that's a huge. That's a benefit that we haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, under 3 minutes to go, and the handoff goes to Mendezabal again as Andreas will come around the right side. Brought down, nice tackle there by Asher Crump. Junior listed as a DB. Looked like he's playing that outside linebacker spot. So the clock now, about 2.5 minutes to play here. Brook Hill is going to go to 1-0, 39-14. We saw the rest of the district results about what we thought in terms of who won and who lost. The scores may be a little crazy, but this district's going to be tough, Chad. We talked about a lot. Region's probably the front runner, but then you got a group that can they catch them? Brook Hill, can they catch them? Can Hyde Park catch them? Grace, Brentwood, we thought maybe would be a little better. We'll see what happens there. As the handoff, Pike's going to keep it, and Pike going to run around the left side and brought down. And it looks like no gain on the play. And have a stoppage here on the field.
We have an injury timeout. This will also be the 2-minute timeout.
No, we're going to get the 2-minute timeout. So that is our cue to take one with them. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back here on NETSN. Back here in Redwater after the 2-minute timeout. 1:54 to play in this one. Third down and a long 8 here for the guard. A lot of younger guys getting some playing time here. And you got to think Brook Hill just going to hand this one off, let that clock continue to run here. And that's a high snap, and Pike is going to pick it up and be stopped. And we're going to have another I thought we were going to have an injury timeout. We're not. We're going to keep it here. So as we mentioned, Frisco Legacy at home next week. A week off after that while the seniors are on the senior trip. Then the last non-district game over at Carlisle. And Jaron, now you may know that. I don't really know that I know the full plan for this, but I think since NETSN covers Carlisle, I think it'll kind of be a joint broadcast. I think Chad and I will have it, but kind of get a chance to cover both schools.
Yep. And Carlisle's trailing Mount Enterprise by 8 right now with just a few minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Pike with the quick kick. We've been looking for it all night, and they're getting a good bounce.
Great roll.
Yeah, Pike gets it. It's going to go back inside the 40. And Redwater's going to have one last drive here, 1st and 10 at their own 37. Under a minute to go now, 56 seconds. Chad, what are your – and we've talked about it a lot here in the second half, but what are kind of your overall thoughts of what you saw tonight and how it compared to what you expected?
Yeah, after the slow start, both offensively and defensively, I think we settled in. We're able to establish the run game offensively. Seeing Zach make a couple of those throws tonight was great. Defensively, Coach Collins made the adjustment there after the first drive, and they were able to like I said, settle in and play the defense that he coaches them to play.
What I love about Coach Collins is that it was 31-8, I think, at the time, 32-8, rather, excuse me. And a lot of backups are in. They score a touchdown. Coach Collins, well, it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to give up those points, backups or not. He's
still coaching those backups just like he is the starters.
Absolutely. Morgan on a little pop pass, caught by Guy Wheat over the middle, and good enough for a Dragon first down as the clock now under 50 seconds and rolling.
Tackled by Pimple and Morris.
And again, Big Mo's knows that's a Redwater Dragon.
So when this game ends, we will take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll thank all of our sponsors once again, Azalea Orthopedics and CDL Training, Brook Hill School. We'll thank all those sponsors one more time, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap this one up so we can get back on the road and back to Bullard. But just a great night for the Guard. It's going to be a 39-14 win unless Redwater can punch one in here on this final play. And they got their starters in there. They're not content. They are continuing to work just as hard here. And Morgan looking to pass, evading the pressure. Good job there. Throws one deep. Looking for a man and incomplete. Probably should have been. Brig Hargett there in coverage and a great job.
Push in the back.
Yeah, great job for Brig Hargett there as they were trying to get the Williams strut off. And we have 6.5 seconds left to play in this one.
Again, attention fans for your
great job, Brig fighting for that ball right there. That guy's he's a little bit bigger than old Brig, but Brig wasn't backing down any.
I don't think Brig has that in him.
No.
Just from the times I've been around Brig, obviously last year in JV football and watched him compete every day in practice, he's a guy that's not gonna back down. So we're gonna have one final play here. 6 seconds to play in the game. 2nd and 10 for the Dragons. And they're going to hand it off. Looks like that's going to be looks like Caden Johnson who got it again, number 6. And that's going to do it for the ball game. The Brook Hill Guard defeat the Redwater Dragons 39-14. We'll take a quick timeout and we'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Brook Hill is more than a school.
I am more than a teacher.
We're more than a classroom.
This is more than a performance. That is more than a scoreboard.
At Brook Hill, you are more than a student. Brook Hill provides a Christ-centered education that more than prepares students for college. It prepares them for life. Brook Hill is a place to grow, a place to belong, a place to thrive. Are you ready for more?
Back here in Redwater, and Chad, you see the team over there on the far sideline singing the fight song with the crowd over there in the stands, and that fight song always sounds a little better after a win.
Absolutely. It's one it's always fun to do.
So a 39-14 win, and it was a lot of P.A. LaPuente, 3 touchdown runs for him. Michael Reeves got in the action. Javier Gavito with a field goal attempt, and man, just what a night for that offense, what a night for the defense as well.
Yeah, coming out of the last scrimmage, I think they didn't get to see everything they wanted to see, and they had some things that they didn't really like what they saw, but I think coaches are going to be very pleased with the way they came out, handled themselves tonight, and got a victory.
So next Friday night, the Texas National Bank American Warrior Bowl, that game will kick off at 7 p.m. We're going to have all the pregame festivities for you on NETSN. Those start at about 6:30. Man, we want to thank everybody who watched tonight. Over 1,100 views tonight. I know it'll probably double, if not triple, the next few days as guys will go back and watch. And, man, for those of you who stuck with us throughout the first couple of minutes where we were trying to figure things out, once again, Calvin and Jaron, MVPs of the night. They rival P.A. LaPuente. Those 3 guys tonight, that's the reason why tonight was so successful for both Brook Hill and for NETSN. For Chad Grubbs, this is Jeremy Herbert saying so long. We will see you next Friday night, the American Warrior Bowl at Harrington Stadium.
Williams fights through the yards, breaks some tackles. Williams still on his feet. Williams breaks another tackle. Here he goes. He's got some blockers. Sam Williams, he ain't going to catch him. Touchdown, God. 59-yard touchdown run on 3rd and 2 for Sam Williams.
Yeah, whoa. They get set early, quickly here. Play clock down to 3. Dixon gets it off, low snap. Pickram up the middle, and there he goes. Pickram into the secondary. Pickram is going to go. He is gone. Touchdown. Macho steps up in the pocket, and he gets away from one tackler, avoids another tackler, tries to run. He's still on his feet. Camacho's still on his feet. He's still running. Camacho, goodness gracious, he's still going. Camacho, is he going to score? Wow. Touchdown. Quick pass. Bork adjusts and intercepted, and he caught it.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
He's going all the way.
Oh, my God.
It's Taylor.
Just let him go. Just let him go.
And a pick 6. Kind of stalled him out here. Brisbane got Stewart with a little. Oh, he ran over the defender. The helmet coming off. Holy man. Quarterback Smith. And Smith's in the gun. He's going to go back to pass. Goes out to his left. He's got a man open. It's Bork again. Caught. Bork breaks some tackle. Oh my gosh. He's still on his feet. He's inside the 10. Touchdown, Arp. What? Here we go. 1st and 10. They're going to throw it outside. They're going to double pass here. Going deep. That's Man Scott. What a catch by Man Scott. It's a one-handed grab. He's going to go almost all the way. Just tackled at the 1. Highlight reel right there for Man Scott. Oh, my goodness, Jason.
I don't think you'll see anything like that.
Woo!
That's not an East Texas highlight reel. That's Sports Center right there.
Man, oh, man. What a catch.